fraternity. A heartfelt welcome to our esteemed chief guest and representative of Madhya Pradesh State Dental Council, Dr. MP Singh Sir, Professor and Head, Department of Dentistry, Chirayu Medical College and Hospital, Bhopal. Sir, we are truly honored by your gracious presence. We are equally privileged to have with us our guest speaker for today, Dr. Kranthi Raja Sir, Adjunct Professor, Faculty of Dentistry, MAHSA University, Malaysia. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. It is a matter of great pride to welcome our distinguished panel of dignitaries whose academic brilliance and professional achievements continue to inspire generation of dental professionals. Dr. Sanjeev Tyagi Sir, Dean, Professor and Head, Department of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics, People's Dental Academy. Dr. G.S. Chandu Sir, Principal, Professor and Head, Department of Prosthodontics and Crown and Bridge, Rishiraj College of Dental Sciences and Research Center. Dr. Parimala Kulkarni Ma'am. Dr. Santosh Kumar Sir, Professor and Head, Department of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics, RKTF Dental College and Research Center. Dr. Pankaj Mishra Sir, Professor, Department of Conservative Dentistry, Wasim Sodar and Mr. Ruchir. We are sincerely grateful for your presence today. Your support continue to serve as a pillar of strength and motivation for the dental community. I also extend a warm welcome to our guiding force, Dr. B. Gurudutt Nayak Sir, Principal and Professor and Head, Department of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics, and to our Vice Principal Ma'am, Dr. Tripti Rahandale, Professor and Head, Department of Prosthodontics and Crown and Bridge. To all the delegates, faculty members and dear students, warm welcome to you all. May I now request all the dignitaries to kindly come forward. Light on a very special moment of this ceremony. Today we have rare privilege of felicitating some of the brightest minds and true stalwarts of dentistry. Individuals whose name are not just known but deeply respected across academic halls, clinical circles and dental conferences alike. They are mentors, innovators, educators and clinicians. But above all, they are legends in their own right. It is my honor to announce the felicitation and I request our Principal Sir, Dr. Gurudutt Nayak Sir and Ma'am, Dr. Tripti Rahandale Ma'am to kindly come forward to do the honors. Dr. MP Singh Sir, a trailblazer in the field of dentistry, whose leadership continue to shape dental education and clinical standards. Dental learning across the borders. The landscape of conservative dentistry and endodontics. request everyone to please clap. Enter, highly regarded for his sharp clinical insights and academic dedication. Request Dr. Anjali Mishra ma'am to kindly accept the token of appreciation on their behalf.
So I begin with wishing you all a happy Guru Purnima. And I wish to acknowledge my teachers who taught me and the students from whom I learned. Looking around this hall today, filled to capacity with bright minds, committed professionals, academic stalwarts, my heart is filled with immense pride and gratitude. It's not just a program, it feels like a celebration of fraternity, of shared purpose, and of what is best about the dental profession. When we announced this CD program, we hoped for good participation, but when we received was an overwhelming response. Registrations poured in, phone kept ringing, the messages kept coming in, even until last night. Honestly, even now, this kind of response is not just encouraging, it is humbling. We are here today not just because of the effort of one department, combined effort taken by colleges all across Bhopal. And it is my deepest honor and privilege to welcome each one of you to this continuing dental education program, Endodontics. This event would not be possible without the support and presence of stalwarts of our field. I take this opportunity to warmly welcome Dr. MP Singh sir, our esteemed chief guest, a legend in his own right. And truly, this is my words, okay, not copied from anywhere, and I mean it but from my bottom of my heart, the Bhishma Pitama of Endodontics. Sir, your presence here is a blessing and an inspiration to all of us present here. I would like to thank Dr. Kranthi Raja, our guest speaker, a globally renowned clinician and an educator. So your reputation precedes you, and your warmth and willingness to teach is what leaves a lasting impression. Welcome you, sir. And a special welcome to our respected dignitaries who took time out of their busy schedule to support and uplift this event. Dr. Sanjeev Tyagi sir, my best and beloved friend. I came to know sir from 2017, and from now each day our friendship is growing bigger and bigger, greater and greater. We are growing stronger and stronger each day, our relations. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here. And I always thank you for the source of guidance and encouragement you always give to me for every time I come to you. Dr. G.S. Chandu, sir, a leader who calm energy and wisdom. We always look up to you. Welcome, sir. Welcome back to Mansarovar, sir. Dr. Santosh Kumar Singh, sir. Today I will be requesting Santosh Kumar Singh, sir, to speak in Kannada. Because once he speaks in Kannada, no matter you know the language or not, definitely you will be laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing loud. So, sir is known for his charm, acumen, and respected presence in this world of endodontics. I would like to welcome Dr. Bhavika Bhavsar ma'am, admired for her structured teaching and sincerity. Dr. Pankaj Mishra sir, one more great friend of mine, known for his commitment and detailed approach to teaching. I would like to extend my welcome to Anjali Mishra ma'am for taking the time out, making her presence available here. She is a trusted name in endodontics, admired for her refined skill and clinical mastery. Each one of you have contributed not just to the success of this event, but to the spirit of learning that we are trying to nurture, without whose support this wouldn't have been possible. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to respected Srimati Manjula Tiwari ma'am, Chancellor Mansarovar Global University and Chairperson Mansarovar Group of Institution, and Engineer Gaurav Tiwari sir, Pro-Chancellor Mansarovar Global University and CD Mansarovar Group of Institution, for their unwavering support, visionary leadership, and for graciously granting us the autonomy to organize programs time and time again, each one more grand and impactful than the last. The theme of today's program is Inside Clinician's Mind, Navigating Comprehensive Management of Complex Endodontic Cases, which captures the essence of clinical dentistry today. I urge you to go beyond the technique and trusted understanding and decision-making process. The rational and refined faculty members, delegates, especially our students, today is the opportunity for you. Listen keenly, ask questions, take notes, interact, use this opportunity to grow. Let today not just be an academic event, but a reminder that the clinician, educator and learner.
All my heartiest wishes to members who are sitting on the dais and the members who are sitting off the dais, and all the students and all the faculty members who are present here. So first of all, I will say some few words to our guest speaker. It is an absolute honor to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Kranthi Raja, a name that resonates across border in the field of endodontics with over 2 decades of dedicated work. His contribution in magnification, advanced instrumentation and clinical disinfection has set a benchmark for excellence. His global reach having conducted workshops in 15 countries, and his academic impact through publication speaks volume of his passion for teaching and elevating the dental practice worldwide. We are privileged to learn from a clinician, educator and visionary like him. Thank you, Dr. Kranthi, for inspiring so many of us to aim higher and to be better. Thank you. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Whether in a clinical or classroom, each step you take is shaping the professional you are becoming. Don't fear challenges. They are your greatest teachers. Keep questioning, keep learning, and never stop sharpening your skills. Dentistry isn't just a degree. It's a lifelong journey to service, science, and self-growth. Step out of your comfort zone, attend workshop, publish, present, explore your future. Patients deserve the best, and your best beginnings now. Stay curious, stay committed. You are the future of our dentistry. जैसा कि हमें अपने पहले के ग्रंथों से बताया गया है कि जो स्टूडेंट होते हैं उनके पास 5 क्वालिटी होना चाहिए. है तो बहुत बड़ी वो क्वालिटी, उनका अगर 50% भी होगा तो आप लोगों का काम चल जाएगा, क्योंकि इस एज में इतना बड़ा फॉलो करना मुश्किल है. लेकिन मैं वो श्लोक पढ़ के बता देता हूँ. श्वान निद्रा मतलब जो बको ध्यानम, श्वान निद्रा, काक चेष्टा, ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. काक चेष्टा होता है कौवे जैसी आपकी वो होनी चाहिए, और बको ध्यानम, काक चेष्टा, स्वान निद्रा, कुत्ते के जैसी आपकी नींद होनी चाहिए कि तुरंत उठ जाए. जब आप स्टूडेंट हैं आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. विद्यार्थी पंच लक्षण, ये विद्यार्थी के 5 लक्षण माने जाते थे उस जमाने में. इसका अगर 50% भी करेंगे तो दैट इज मोर देन एनफ फॉर यू. ठीक है. और टूटने लगे हौसले तो याद रखना, टूटने लगे हौसले तो याद रखना कि मेहनत, बिना मेहनत के तक तो ताज नहीं मिलता, और ढूंढ लेते हैं अंधेरों में अपनी मंजिल. जुगनू किसी रोशनी का मोहताज नहीं होता. और न संघर्ष न तकलीफें, फिर क्या मजा है जीने में. न संघर्ष न तकलीफें तो फिर क्या मजा है जीने में. तूफान भी रुक जाएगा जब लक्ष्य होगा सीने में. राह संघर्ष की जो चलता है वही संसार को बदलता है। जिसने रातों से जंग जीती है वही सूर्य बनकर निकलता है। और जैसा कि सब लोग मुझे जानते होंगे पहले से, आज गला मेरा खराब है, नहीं तो मैं जरूर कुछ आप लोगों को सुना के गा के बताता। लेकिन अभी 4 लाइनें जो मैंने कल एक गाने को थोड़ा कन्वर्ट करके मॉडिफाइड करी है, वो मैं आप लोगों को सुना देता हूँ। गाना सबका सुना हुआ है, हर प्रोफेशन में फिट हो जाएगा ये। कि मैं पल दो पल का डेंटिस्ट हूँ, डेंटिस्ट्री में मेरी कहानी है। पल दो पल मेरी हस्ती है, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है। मुझसे पहले कितने डेंटिस्ट आए और आकर चले गए, कुछ झंडे गाड़ के चले गए। वो भी एक पल का किस्सा थे, मैं आऊंगा जो आज तुम्हारा हिस्सा हूँ। मैं पल दो पल का डेंटिस्ट हूँ। पल दो पल में, गला खराब है लेकिन चलेगा। पल दो पल में जो कुछ कह पाया, बस इतनी सादत काफी है। पल इतनी इनायत काफी है। कल और आएंगे प्रोफेशन में कुछ मुझसे अच्छा करने वाले, मुझसे बेहतर कहने वाले, तुमसे बेहतर सुनने वाले। कल कोई याद करे मसरूफ जमाना मेरे लिए, क्यों वक्त अपना बर्बाद करे। मैं पल दो पल का डेंटिस्ट हूँ, डेंटिस्ट्री मेरी कहानी है। थैंक यू भाई, थैंक यू।
Very good morning to everyone. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Gurudutt Nayak and his team for the wonderful organization of this CD program, which is a requirement of the time, where you are going to learn the things from the expert.
College of Dental Sciences, Bhopal, to share her views with the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Today Sir has organized know more from about it and expertise ourselves, and also we have got an expert in this field who is going to educate about this aspect. Thank you so much.
Dr. Bhavika Bhavsar ma'am, Professor and Head, RKD of Dental College and Research Center Bhopal, to kindly share her thoughts and experiences with us.
Wish you all of you a very happy Guru Purnima day, and congratulations sir for this wonderful CD program. And I want to tell you one thing on this day, that teachers are like a guiding light. They show you path in the dark lights. So just follow your teachers, but you keep on walking and learning. Thank you all.
And inspiring our students with your presence and your words today. Now it is my absolute Raja sir. Dr. Kranthi Raja, graduation in Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics from NTR University of Health Sciences. He currently serves as a adjunct professor at Faculty of Dentistry, MAHSA University, Malaysia, adjunct professor at SIBAR Institute of Dental Sciences. With over 20 years of clinical and academic experience, Dr. MAHSA University has also been appointed as Senate member of the same university. He further contributes to profession as honorary advisor to Malaysia Dental Industry Association. Dr. Kranthi is globally recognized for his exceptional clinical acumen and deep passion for endodontics. His teaching and restorative dentistry skills have been widely appreciated by students and professionals alike. He has organized keynote lectures and hands-on sessions in countries such as Australia, Singapore, South Korea, Dubai, Germany, Egypt, Philippines, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and of course across India. In addition, he has authored 20 international publications in esteemed journal.
Update ourselves every single day, because I believe in one thing, the relation between a student and teacher is always like Raja or Praja. जितना अच्छा राजा उतना अच्छी प्रजा, जितनी अच्छी प्रजा उतनी अच्छा राजा. We all, like as a student, you are a reflection of us, and the same way we also learn something from you. So it's learning experience which need to be continuing throughout our learning, because what we have learned in our past when we completed our post-graduation, it has become out. Technologies are creeping in. Back then when we are doing PG, microscope was the things, and we used to think why to invest so much of money. Now it has become so common that everybody is having, and it become mandatory, must have equipment for yourself. So this kind of CD program should be organized often, and we should be also participating in with all our enthusiasm to update ourselves. Thank you very much, and thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity, and thank you very much, sir.
Professor, Department of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics, People's College of Dental Science and Research Center, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you are here to learn something about microdentistry with loupes, microscopes. This is done by Orodeka. The company who is running is my BDS friend actually. So if you doesn't understand anything, I can assure you, you can ask. He will have entire discussion regarding what to do and not. Right? Hope you enjoy the CD program. Thank you.
Kranthi Raja sir to begin today's session. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kranthi Raja sir. I request all the dignitaries to take their seats off the dais.
To interact with you all, and thanks to the management of Mansarovar Dental College for inviting me, and thank you all for coming. So sorry for the hiccup. It's always, I know we should have something in the beginning to make the end better probably. So my name is Dr. Kranthi Raja. I think I've got my invitation right. It's a good combination of clinical as well as industry, so I get a lot of insights before it is released to clinics. So I have some sort of advantage where how the industry is going towards, because I sit on Asia Pacific and also Malaysia Dental Industry Association. So thank you so much for this invitation. So this is where it's in the place called Kuala Lumpur, and I'm so happy that there is a collaboration MOU between Mansarovar and MAHSA University. It's one of the top private universities in Malaysia. They have got even postgraduate facilities. If anybody would want to join there, yes, Indian students can join. We had one student earlier. Even for student exchange for both postgraduates and interns. After 12 years of stint in Malaysia, I moved to India and I opened my own practice in Hyderabad. I still go to Malaysia very often. In fact, I'm going this 20th. This is my clinic. It's called Endodontics in Hyderabad. These are all my facilities. Later, whatever cases I'm going to show you all, it's all my cases, and I've taken consent from the patients. I'll be showing you a lot of cases. Hopefully the computer shows what I want to show. This is microscope, and I have also equipped myself with CBCT, the top end CBCT available in the market right now. It's a 45 micron, which is the best in the world. Why I'm showing you all this, later I'll be showing you a lot of cases where I integrate microscope with CBCT to arrive at diagnosis, treatment plan and execution of treatment plan. So there will be a lot of integration to manage a complex case. Of course, we are talking about complex cases, right? So what I'm going to do today in the next 1.5 hours, 2 hours is I'm trying to break down all the complexities, right from diagnosis, your absorptions, open effects. So a lot of cases coming up. Each case I try to give some points and I try to make sure that theory is the least. So because I know you all hate theory, right? Right? And you all know theory already, so I don't have to do much. And we also have a small coaching center over there where I can accommodate around 10 people. This was a group of 23 endodontics in Hyderabad who attended my lecture on microscope in having good area. So I'm glad that I could travel to these many areas in the world, including Australia to Germany and Dubai, Korea and so on. In India also I've covered almost all the states of India. Over the last 1 year I've travelled to 22 dental colleges, including AIMS, Manipal, Savita, Sibar and so on. So whatever it is, let it be complex case, simple case, whatever it is, our mission is to save the tooth, right? We want to save the tooth. So this is my favorite question. When does a root canal treatment finished? What is the last step for the root canal treatment? Postgrads, anybody? Obturation? Post-endodontic restoration? Yes? So what is the post-endodontic restoration you want to give? So root canal treatment is finished only and only when you give definitive restoration. It can be a crown, onlay, inlay or a composite. Till that time root canal treatment is not finished. Because the patient did not come to you only to alleviate pain. The patient came to you because he is not able to use that tooth effectively. So you have to rehabilitate function. So we participated in Dentsply endodontic contest worldwide. My student won the Asia level and went to world. This was the final question was asked by Dr. Gutman. And this was the question which decided the winner from loser. So you have to always think that you are not doing root canal just when the patient came swelling, pain. Okay, my job is to do cleaning and shaping, put a obturation, put a post-endo and send back to somewhere. That is not your this thing. Of course, we do have some, I don't know how it is done here. Probably you have to send the crowns to somebody, but I would recommend a root canal treated tooth should be done crowns by the same person. I hope, I don't know how it is working right now, but that is my perspective because they know the best about that particular tooth. So please understand our job is to keep this tooth for how many years? What is the expiry period for a root canal treated tooth? 5 years? Good enough? Happy? Patient happy, doctor? 10 years? Not good enough? 15 years? Then we'll see where he'll be, where I am. Huh? Root canal treated tooth should be in the mouth for lifetime. When we do a root canal treatment for a patient, our job is to keep the tooth in the mouth lifetime. But who's the best judge of a root canal treatment? Who's the best judge? Who can decide this root canal treatment is done well or not well? Patient? Patient's mother? The one who's doing. You know how you have done a root canal treatment. Nobody else will know. Nobody else. Neither your supervisor, nor the patient, or patient's attendant. Nobody knows. Because only you know how much time you have spent on disinfection. Only you know how much of gataparcha you have kept, not the sealer. No, push some sealer to make it very white. Only you know how well you have sheared off the gataparcha. Only you know how much of caries was there. You removed everything and did a good post-endo restoration. So the most important first tip I would like to give for anybody who wants to excel in dentistry or endodontics, the first tip is integrity. Nobody else can help you if you do not want to help yourself. This is my first tip. So the rest of the lecture, think, if I was doing this, will I do this or not? Can I do this or not? Will I and can I? If both are there, you do it. So as I told you, the successful endodontics always ends with the end in mind. What an end in mind? Here it is function of the tooth. So this is a root canal procedure, of course, plan. Let us look at the diagnosis. Right? You know who's this guy? His name is William. What is he doing? He's doing something absurd. Not supposed to do. Prince of England doing this. You can't imagine, right? But actually he was doing this. He was trying to say, I got my third child. So the first one what you see is the 2D image. Second one what you see is the 3D image. What do you see here? You see the lion or tiger eating its own cub, right? But actually it is something like this. So what you have to understand, the first thing you have to understand Root canal treatment is not done for X-ray. Root canal treatment is done for a tooth. This is a 2D X-ray. This is a 3D representation. You all know what is classification, right? This is a 3D representation. So I always tell my students, when you are doing root canal treatment, imagine you are the file. You are the file. You are going into the root canal and cleaning everywhere like this. Don't think that, there is one straight line, one X-ray, oh, very good, my Gatapacha is reaching the length, white line. No. Think that it's a hollow space. You are cleaning the space. You are not cleaning the wall. You are not cleaning the bacteria sitting and waiting for you to be killed. You are cleaning the bacteria which are sitting in the nooks and corners and trying to avoid you. So please, that should be your mentality, like this, everything. You can see so many portals of entries, exits. So for that, of course, there is one CBCT which can help you. So the first case, look at this case. This patient was referred to me. In Malaysia, it is like, we do not go to patients, we do not go to other clinics. They refer to us because we are not allowed to practice everywhere. We practice only in university. I had my own private practice. So I was practicing and patients used to be referred to me from general practitioners. So this case was referred to me. This is a 17-year-old Chinese boy. Very, very, very apprehensive, very anxiety. Cannot open his mouth, but asked too many questions. He was doing chemical engineering something, but he'll ask everything about dentistry. You have to answer, but when you ask him to open the mouth and put the probe, he'll jump. Very anxious patient. Now this patient came to me. The reason it was referred to me was the dentist was not able to find canals. Now, what do you want to do in this case? You want any other information? Would you want anything more to know about this case? Or you straight away go for root canal? Huge perforation. Now the problem was not about 6. The problem was for 7 because they wanted to save the tooth. But if you look at this particular CBCT, look at what is happening below the CBCT. There is a huge subgingival caries. And there is a metal artifact reduction so well that you can clearly visualize there is subgingival caries. So there is no point in saving the tooth. So we went for extractions. You can see in this case very clearly. Can you press it? The video is working. Very poorly done. What did you do for this case? This patient was my year 4 student who came to me and she told, I want to get a second opinion from you. What should I do for this case? All good? Shall I proceed or should I do something? Or very bad obturation? Should I do retreatment? No canal. No canal. No canal. So, for postgrads, this is a very, very nice article. It's called American Association of Endodontics. They have given a very good article about diagnosis. You can look at it, and also something called as case difficulty form. It's an open journal. You can search. You can go and you can case difficulty form where they have divided into minimal, moderate, and severe. High difficulty. So you can choose based on all these information given. What you have to understand is whether I have all the information, first question, whether I have all the equipment and instruments, third one, whether I have a clinical acumen to do this case or not. If the answer is yes to all these 3, do. Otherwise, these things base very clearly, anything which is high difficulty, refer. Refer to a person who has a better experience than you can do it. Okay? So it's a very nice one. They give everything. They've got diagnostic considerations, medical considerations, other considerations. Very, 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 very nicely done. The other index you have to know is something called as periapical index system. This is also quite useful for you. What is this index? Very simple. When the patient comes, you note down what is the periapical status of that particular patient. If the patient has got 1 normal periapical structure. 2, small changes. 3, within bone. 4, apical with well-defined relucent area. 5, severe apical periodontitis. Why is it important for us? Why this thing is important for us? Anybody? So for example, if the patient comes with a 4, you do the root canal treatment. After 6 months, the patient comes back. You take an X-ray. The 4 became 5. What does it mean? 4 becomes 5. 4 became 5. That means your treatment is not working. It's going for failure. So there is no ambiguity. You don't say that, last time there was a lesion, this time probably, not probably. You have a very good information already. The next level is something called as CBCT PIA scale. If you have a CBCT, you can actually measure exactly how much it is. You can measure the diameter of the lesion and you decide how much is the lesion. So for example, if it is intact periapical bone structure, 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Same thing you can do. If a patient comes after 1 year, you take a CBCT and you check whether it is working or not. So very important decision making. Whenever there is a compromised tooth, you have to decide whether you are going to go for a RCT or an implant, right? So you have to check whether it is primary, non-surgical or surgical retreatment. We'll see about all these situations in the while. So again, there is one more index which I would again recommend you all to study. Again, this is open. British Dental Journal. It's called Dental Practicality Index. Dental Practicality Index talks about whether it is practical to do a root canal or go for implant. Of course, all the clinicians other than endodontists would be very happy if it goes for implant. I don't know whether we will be happy also. Looking at the rates of root canal treatments in India, I'm a bit worried. So anyway, so please look at Dental Practicality Index. You look at whether treatment required. It has got a fantastic again endodontic treatment need, periodontal treatment need, and structural integrity. So you check whether anything falls into this in these situations. Then you decide whether you have to go for a root canal or implant. Again, this is also available open journal. Painless endodontics. So major challenge comes in one area. What is that area? When you are giving anesthesia, still the patient has pain. In what situations? It's called hot tooth. So what do you do in a hot tooth? Extract and save. Intrapulpal, fantastic. Have you ever tried to give an intrapulpal to anybody in this world? Anybody got root canal treatment done for yourself? Anybody got a pain in the pulp? You know why? The pulpal pain is the second most severe pain in the human body after labor pain and kidney stone. So now imagine a patient is having severe pain because of pulpitis and you are taking a anesthesia, putting a needle into the pulp, already 32 mm Hg pressure, you are putting a needle and you are trying to give anesthesia into the pulp. Imagine yourself as a patient. So for me, intrapulpal anesthesia is a last resort. To be very frank, I have never given intrapulpal anesthesia in my practice. I tried once. I felt the patient was having so pain that I thought it is not the right way. Of course, literature talks about it, but for me, I don't think it works because it doesn't work that way. Anesthesia has to come from, it has to really anesthetize the C fibers. And the C fibers are in the deep core. So what I do, very simple. Of course, anyway, we give anesthesia. After that, you have to do something called as supplementary injection. This is the reason why the anesthesia doesn't work in a hard tooth. Something called as TTRS becomes TTRX. I'm sure that a lot of postgrads know this. Now the issue is, first you give normal anesthesia, then if I know the patient is having hot tooth, first thing I do is, I give the patient hot chocolate. Make the patient come, make him sit in your reception, give him some nice chocolate. Reduce his anxiety. Either if you have normal chocolate also can. It increases a lot of metabolism and becomes much better for you. Then, if it is local, usually it happens with mandibular molar, right? Give 2 blocks. Even after 2 blocks, the minute you go and touch, So don't tell the patient, see, you poke here, you poke there, you poke everywhere in the world and say that, see, it's working. You are only not knowing. I know it's working. Please understand, patient is not lying. Patient is not joking. That's his pain. You won't understand his pain. You only understand symptoms. See. Poke here, poke here, poke here, poke here. 10 times. You know the difference? Yes. Know the difference? Again, when you go and put the, see, it's working. Get irritated next. So now, already patient is anxious. Already patient is suffering. On top of that, you are shouting. So please understand, patient is not lying. All his peripheral fibers are anesthetized, but his pulp is not anesthetized. So you have to be more sympathetic. What I do normally, I give 2 blocks, then I take the needle. Now all this theoretical, very nicely they'll say intraligamentary, intraosseous. Do we have those needles? You have intraligamentary? So if you have, very good. If you do not have, all I do is I take the needle, put it horizontal, 1 in the mesial, 1 in the distal. Trust me, it works. 95% it works. 5% it doesn't work. What do you have to do? Send them back. What do you have to do? Reduce occlusion. Try to make sure the patient is not touching. That's not your day, that's it. Do 1 more appointment next day. And trust, patient is not lying. This is very, very important. So, and probably some people might say, yeah, this is what you are not supposed to do, Feels numb, probing, simply stating, waiting for it, all that you have to do. Actually, you are supposed to do this. If you really evaluate, if you want to really evaluate whether the pulpal anesthesia is working or not, you have to do a vitality test again. You do vitality test again, check, patient is no response, then only you have to go for a treatment. There is some doubt about RTK, probably, but there is no evidence to show it is absolutely used. There are some articles to show that both have got equal effectiveness. You can do with lignocaine, not a problem. Probably mepivacaine may work in certain situations. So these are all very, very distinct. So you see the last one is intrapulpal injection, but I still don't believe it is a very good way of tackling it. So the next one for doing complex cases would be magnification. If you do not have microscope, what is important is something called as loupes. Dentistry, in fact, in Malaysia, in our university, MAHSA, second year they start loupes. Second year, undergraduate. It's mandatory to have loupes, mandatory. So they start using loupes for preclinical exercises in second year, continue throughout. We make it mandatory because we understand the level, how it improves the minute you use loupes. You don't have to worry about 5 magnification, 6 magnification, so on. 3.5 is good enough. It will take care of most of your issues. In fact, if you're doing preclinical, 2.5 is also nice. We don't encourage them to get ergos right now. Later, when they are probably, when they go to clinics, probably they can start. But normally we, in Malaysia, we give them not flip up. We don't encourage them flip up. We encourage TTL. The reason why we don't encourage flip up is too much of weight on the nose. So anything 3.5x magnification would be good enough. You can see most of the things. It will take care of a lot of issues. But you want to do good dentistry. I'm sure, I think yesterday I was speaking to Mansarovar Dental College postgrads. They all have loupes. That's nice. If you do not have loupes, first thing is go buy one. Second thing is, do not buy bad quality loupes. Second, very important point, very, very important. A lot of people try to save money by buying from all those Chinese Alibabas and so on. So in fact, there's a funny story. There was one of my students who brought from there in Malaysia. It's called Shopee. They buy from Shopee. So the box came. So I looked at the box. It was very cheap. So I looked at the box and I said, okay, you bought this one. Okay. She told me this is so X is the cost of it. I said, the box only looks like X. So nice box, very, very nicely made. So how would be the loupes? true enough, the loops has got very bad lens quality. So why is important not to buy bad quality lens? I'll tell you. Eyes are very sensitive to what we see. Second, eyes are good at adapting to what we see. It's something like this. When you go into a cinema theater, right? What happens? Initially when you go, nothing, you can't see anything. You can't find even yourself. Where is my pocket? But after some time, suddenly you'll see everything. You can see your girlfriend, boyfriend also. How it happens? Because your rods and cones adjust themselves. Similarly, if you do not take a good lens, the eye muscles will try to adapt to what is there in the lens. But the problem is, over the period of time, there will be fatigue. Over the period of time, your eyes get fatigued. That is when the actual problem comes. So, please do not settle for poor quality lens. So this is what I did from access cavity with magnification. You can see how small an access cavity I can make. I don't have to make a very big access cavity to get my maxillary molar 3 canals. Luckily there are only 3 canals here. Obturated. I think we should change the PowerPoint. Nothing, no videos are working. Okay. And the patient was having pain. So what we have to do is we have to gain access into this patient, right? You can have a seat. Press the video. So you can see that there is a huge periapical lesion and there is a big post over there, right? So when we do open, you can see this is magnification. You can see that all my rubber dam, I always use liquid dam, right? Some of the times when we use rubber dam, patient still complains hypochlorite going into the mouth. The reason being, if you're not using a proper liquid dam, there is a leakage. And again, don't tell the patient, oh, no, I have done everything right, nothing, kuch nahi, salt water hi chalega. But nahi chalega because sodium hypochlorite can cause issues. Now you see there, I am trying to rotate, I am using ultrasonics to remove the post. Then you continue, don't stop. You can see there, it's moving. So you can see a clear-cut reason why we should throw metal pins into the board, into the dustbin. All metal posts in the bin. No more. It doesn't give any advantage in any situation. Right? The time has come for fiber posts. It's only fiber posts you have to use. You can see that now I'm removing Gataparcha. This is one of the easiest retreatment for me. All I have to use was a tweezer. Because sparingly used Gataparcha. That was minimal conservative dentistry. So all I have to do was clean it. You can see that I've cleaned there. Take a master cone and did the obturation. So that's obturation. Now, if this patient comes to me today, this was I think 3 or 4 years ago I've done that, I will do something different. What I should do something different?
Apexification.
Sorry?
Apexification.
Apexification is not possible because the patient is already 30-year-old.
No, apexification I said.
So what we can do is probably yes, apical plug.
Apical plug.
So what we can do is we can do a good MTA and then followed by Gataparcha with bioceramics. Yeah. So that was probably, but luckily this was fitting and anything above 60. If your Gataparcha size is above 60, please do not use Gataparcha. Okay. So you no more rolled cone technique. All that is outdated. Gone. What we have understood is Gataparcha is not a very good sealer. It doesn't. There is a chance of, especially if there is a lesion earlier and you're using Gataparcha, there is a biofilm formation on the Gataparcha, and again it forms a good source of nidus for the bipronasal. So best is go for bioceramic putty or you go for MTA. Either the two can be used. That would have been better if this was the case. No, this case was done in Taiwan. 55-year-old Chinese lady, severe pain, she came, when we opened, we had 2 posts. Took a CBCT, you can see there's a big lesion, right? Now, this dentist was very innovative. What he did, he took the post, he turned the post, put the head into the canal. Oh, I think he learned something from Indian Jugaad. And you know what was the sealing agent? Not the cement and all. Put flowable composite, take the post, pump it in. It took me 2 hours to remove these 2 posts. You can click, sorry. Click. नहीं इसके ऊपर जाके हाँ और बोलिए ना
previous slide number 19
fine. So this is how I remove the post. Then of course we go for a normal obturation. So we have basically seen access cavity, removing the post and also removing the posterior post. Now second topic would be what you have to do to eradicate the microorganisms, right? So we have to do only 2 things to do in cleaning and shaping or to get a good root canal treatment. Only 2 things. What are the 2 things? We all established the fact the reason is microorganisms, right? We have to eliminate all the microorganisms from the root canal system. We have to make sure they do not come back into the system. That's all. Rest our body will take care. Right? We are not healing the body, right? You all understand. We are just a facilitator for the body to heal. Don't be confident that you are doing something. No. Our body is very, very, very forgiving. Otherwise, most of the patients would have been hitting us by today for what we have done. So, our job is to clean the root canal system and obturate and do a good post-endodontic restoration so that the bacteria do not come back. But the challenge is like this, We have all these challenges. We have got biofilm over there. They are not like simple bacteria sitting there and trying to get killed. So, this phrase, just remember this phrase. Whatever instruments available in the market, whatever it is, whoever comes, whatever material it is, whatever technology it is, all they do is shape. All they do is shape. Instruments do not clean. Instruments shape. We need that because we have to clean. So, shaping is for cleaning. So, if anybody comes and tells that, we found a magic formula, we found a fantastic instrument which makes sure that everything is amazing for you, root canal treatment will be best, laugh at them. The reason, whatever it is just a tool to shape so that you put your sodium hypochlorite to clean. So, how you do? You follow all the basic principles, no change. You use rotary, you use reciprocation, you use self-adjusting file, you use any file in the world. Basic principles do not change. What is the first basic principle? Straight line access. Second basic principle, small file. What is a small file? 10 number? 15 number? Even if you think an elephant can go into the canal, you literally can push an elephant into the canal, start with 10 number file. Especially upper anteriors. Why? What happens in laterals? They are placed how? How is the root? It is always distal and palatal. So even you use 15 number, there is a risk of you creating a ledge. So please start with 10 number. Understand the anatomy of the canal, right? So then you do a good cleaning and shaping. This is a very good representation of how undebrided, debrided and chemically debrided. The mechanical objectives remain same. You have to have a taper. You have to create a shape where you can send more hypochlorite. The analogy is something like this. When we were kids, now I don't know, nowadays kids won't know about this. When we go to petrol bunk and we want to fill petrol in our scooters, we used to have scooters that time, Bajaj Chetak. We used to have something called as funnel. So the guy will come, put a funnel and pump the petrol. Why you used to do that? Because when you have a funnel, you can push more petrol without spilling anywhere. So basically the funnel shape will help to pump in more sodium hypochlorite so that you can reach more areas. So still we are not in a position to make a straight canal like this. 0.2% is not enough. Minimum you have to go for a 4% taper, minimum. Okay? So this is what I was telling. This is the loops which I would recommend later in the workshop. You guys will be using this. This is the made in India loops, very high quality German lens. We will be using it. Never ever do this. A file is a misnomer. A file should never be used in a filing motion. A file should always be used in what motion? Fantastic. We should always use in a watch winding motion. No more doing this. Okay? So you would have seen this very common, right? When a patient comes to you, no pain, nothing. You took a radiograph. You saw suddenly there's a lesion, and you tell the patient, "Hey guys, you need to go for a root canal for so and so reason. There is a lesion over there which you can't see, but I can see." Then only patient looks at you, whether this guy is telling truth or not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you tell them, "Okay, I have to go for root canal." You start a root canal. No pain, huh? Patient went back home. 1 or 2 days later, gives you a call. "Doctor, when I came, there was no pain. And you were the one insisted on getting this root canal treatment done. Now I'm having severe pain. It became worse after I visited you." What is the most common reason? And before that, what do you tell the patient? Give a painkiller and shut him up? What is the reason? What is the reason? So you'll tell the patient, what happened? I was a bit careless. I took my instrument, I went a bit beyond. I was trying to see how your reaction would be. Would you say that? What you'll say? I'll tell you exactly what you'll say. "No, this is very good. That means your body is reacting. You have got a fantastic immune system. There is a reaction means you are very young. Or your body is young, if it's an old patient. So, but that is not the reason. The reason is you were not able to control your working length. Either you have done over instrumentation, or you have pushed debris, or you have pushed your irrigant. 3 things. That's the reason patient is having pain. So working length control is very important. Huh? I take at least 3 to 4 times in my procedure my working length. Every time I'll do an initial apical file working length. Then after my initial preparation with my rotary instrumentation, I take working length. Final preparation, I take working length. Of course, obturation, I take a master cone and obturate. Because working length is one of the most common things which we ignore. We are too much in a hurry to finish the root canal. But working length is something which determines how the patient will be in pain post-operatively. There is direct correlation. If you have gone beyond apex, patient will have 7 days of pain. If you control your working length, maximum 2 to 3 days of pain. So working length control, very important. So what do you look at an instrument? For example, I come and give you 10 instruments, which is happening now. Everybody tells their file is the best. I give you 10 instruments. What is the first question you'll ask me? What is the first question you want to ask me to choose a file? How much is it? How many canals it can work? Right? But ideally what should be? Okay, let us be not so honest. What is the actual question you should ask? Remember what I told you in the beginning? All canals are used, all instruments are used to only one purpose. What is that? Fantastic. So, what should be your question? Whether this file goes in one piece and comes back in one piece. That means, how safe is this file? For me, it doesn't matter whatever file it is. I want safety. Right? So, unfortunately, I have been traveling extensively in India. I have shown you traveled almost from Kerala to Jammu and Kashmir. Unfortunately, there is a very bad trend happening. It's called normalization of instrument. Very nice term, separation. Normalization of instrument fracture. That means it's okay. चलेगा इतने में क्या है? फाइल तो टूटता है. अच्छा, 10 कैनाल के बाद ही टूटा. Very good. And this is not only general dentists. It's happening with endodontics. It's happening with postgrad students. Probably there is one company which is doing it indirectly. We are all reflections of what happens in the market. So I ask the question, implant today to chalega? Can you break an implant? Implant to toota hi hai. Can we say that? Okay, why? Why not? Why breaking of an implant is such an impact, but breaking of a file is not an impact? I'll tell you why. We are charging 2,000, 3,000, 1,500 for a root canal. We're charging 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 for an implant. We think that implant is much better than a root. Day before yesterday, I gave a webinar for Malaysian dentists. The topic was selecting a tooth for extraction versus saving. That was my topic. So I was emphasizing the fact, how important is a tooth? Remember in the beginning we have established the fact, how many years of tooth has to be in the mouth of the patient? For? So now you break a file. Can you guarantee that? Gone. Prognosis goes by 50 to 70%. You are not sure. You bypass, you retrieve, whatever you do. If you bypass, there is still a chance of debris. You retrieve, you are cutting too much of dentine. Either way, the minute you break a file, you are reducing the prognosis, for sure. That is, if you have ability to retrieve. If you have all the tools to retrieve. If you have a fantastic skill to retrieve. If you don't retrieve, high chance. There is a high chance it fails. So, please, I would request all fraternity of endodontics or anybody, don't normalize breakage. Breakage is wrong. Try not to break. And what you have to do, I don't know. You have to use less number of canals, or you have to take a good file, you have to check the evidence based, I don't know. But don't fall for 800, 500, 600 rupee file and be happy that, I got, offer, conference offer, 500 mein 1000 packet de diya. So please don't do that, because a good file is very, very important for your, after all this, the file may break. I am not saying that we never break a file, but we do not use a file which is supposed to break. Okay? So the second one you have to remember is quality of treatment. Just now I told you it's only for shaping, but now I'm talking about quality of treatment. What does it mean? I don't want my file to push any debris down. That is my second consideration. First consideration, file should not break. Second consideration, it should not push debris down, because that will cause problem for my patient. Third consideration, I don't want too much of, I want simple ease of use, right? Period. No file should be used which has got tons of evidence to show in research. Anything above 6%, taper of 8%, 10%, 9%, like for example ProTaper Gold. They also agreed. I was a KOL for Dentsply for 5 years. So the direction has changed. They also agreed that ProTaper Gold is not a very good file. They changed to Prunotomy or Ultima. Why we are moving? We understood over the period of time, we were overzealous in cutting tooth structure to send more hypochlorite. We were trying to make it too big. We were cutting too much of pericervical dentine, which is a major chunk where the restoration will stay there without having fracture. So no file, any file, whatever you are using, no more than 6%. Enough. If, for example, the tape, what you call apex is very big, yes, you can go to 40, 50, 60, doesn't matter. But don't cut middle one third and coronal one third unnecessarily, right? So for me, anything below 6% I would not do. So these are the evolution. It started in 1993, where the first file called Profile came in. Then we had a very good evolution. If you look at it, in 2001, something called as ProTaper came into existence. And that was everybody's dream file. Everybody in the world used ProTaper for many years. Now, it became as synonymous as, what is a Xerox company? You know what is Xerox? Right? In India, what you do? Even in the official things, they write 2 Xerox copies. But ideally, Xerox copies, there is nothing called Xerox copies. It should be photocopies. When I went to Malaysia, I told somebody, hey, get me one Xerox copy. He looked at me like this. I said, what? I want Xerox copy, Xerox copy. There is no Xerox in Malaysia. There is Canal in Malaysia. So I have to say it's photocopy. Xerox is a machine. Similarly, ProTaper became rotary. Till today, people they ask, you have ProTaper? Not rotary, they are meaning rotary. It is good, it did very good for dentistry, it did very good for endodontics, but it has got lot of flaws. That is the reason we moved away from ProTaper to ProTaper Next in 2013. It took 12 years. 12 years for LEAP But after that, lot of things happened. The best thing which happened is something called as physiology. Shape memory became control memory. What is shape memory? You take a file, you bend a file, the file will tend to come back. That is shape memory. You take a file, you bend a file, it stays that way. This is control memory. Shape memory files in the bin. High taper files in the bin. I mean, I'm not telling this, not with an arrogance. This is what research says. So please understand, no more austenitic phased files. Take a file, bend it. If it's not coming back to original shape, that is not the file to be used in your canal. Now imagine, whenever you're doing rotary instrumentation, right? It's rotating like this, right? There are two forces acting. One is your rotation force. The other is the resistance from the canal. So we have got two fatigues happening. One is called cyclic fatigue, one is called torsional fatigue. Now, if you are using a rigid file, there's a high chance, along with cyclic fatigue, torsional fatigue, there's a combination, it snaps off. That is the reason we broke so many, I broke so many. Now I'll stop breaking files because metallurgy was also an issue. Metallurgy was an issue. So we, as I told you, we don't want any breakage. So we have to eliminate all the possible chances of breaking a file, right? So this is the file which we are going to use today. It's called Orodeka Plex P file. This is an Italian file, of course made in China, but the design, everything is, there's a company in Italy. I also was involved in refining certain things in Orodeka Plex P file. They do have something called as reciprocation file, but today we don't have time to discuss that. But there's something called as RC1 file, which I was involved in developing a 2504 reciprocal file, which is the only file in the world to have it. All others have got 2506 minimum, RC reciprocal blue and Raven gold. So this file has got simple sequence, start with 1508, which is an orifice opener. So good part about this is we have got 1508, not 2508. Advantage would be you can pre-bend the file. What is the advantage about pre-bending the orifice opener? Now look at your mesobuccal 2. Very difficult to reach, right? So sometimes that is very important, crucial, because very small canal. So all you can do is just bend the file and do. Then we have got very nice file called 1503 glide path file. You all know what is a glide path file, right? And that file is the crux of your root canal instrumentation. If you can do things with your glide path, later everything follows very smoothly. The challenge is the apical 1/3 curvature or middle 1/3 curvature, where you can negotiate with a glide path file, which gives you a fantastic opportunity for your next files to go. So this has got something called as easy. What are easy canals? What are easy canals? Short, straight, wide. Any canal, you take a PA, you see short, straight, wide, yeah, lucky. Any canal which has got narrow, long, curve, lucky. You can prove to the HOD I am a good endodontist. I saw Dr. Gurudutt sir shared one very nice case done by one of our PG sir. Sorry? Dr. Akanksha, very nice mandibular, third molar, curved canal, very nicely managed. Of course with Orodeka, that's why I'm telling that. So, very well done. That requires skill, you know, that requires skill. Only tool, that's a tool. You need skill as well, right? So, please use a very nice 1503, anything which is less tapered glide path. Then 2005, this has got 05 and 06. You can stop there, or how you decide whether you have to go from 25, the first stop. I mean, there's a very nice article by Prasanna Nilakantan in JOE, where he talks about what should be minimal apical diameter. 2506 is good, right? But how do you decide whether 2506 is good enough or not? What do you do? Take Gatapacha, place it there, check for tuck back. If there is no tuck back, don't use 25, go to 30. But don't go for 3006, go for 3004. Again, same funda. We don't want to cut too much in the middle 1/3 and apical 1/3. We cut in the, middle 1/3 and coronal 1/3. We want to cut in the apical 1/3. For difficult canals, you've got 1503, 2004 and 2504. Long, narrow, curved canals. I'll show you some of them now. You cannot go to 6% also. Don't try to go to 6%. There is a risk that you break the file. So these are the advantages. The major advantage is this is the orifice opener, 1508. You can see this is the access cavity, there's a bleeding, you can see a pulp stone over there. With magnification you can see exactly what you're doing. All you have to do is take an ultrasonic and just shake it off. The next one is, this is 1508, it has got variable helical angle, and one of the features this has got is something called as active tip. Normally rotary instrumentations should not have active tip. Why? Because they'll have a screw-in effect. But this one, it is not meant to prepare the canal. It is meant to enlarge the orifice. It is doing exactly the work of a Gates Glidden drill. Again, for me, Gates Glidden drill in the bin. The reason is they create a shape which is not amenable for a rotary instrumentation. Gates Glidden drill were amazing till we do not have a good rotary instrumentation sets. It created a fantastic opening for your hand files to be cleaning. Once the rotary came, it's not very good because it creates a shape which is not very good for rotary. It becomes nowhere, it becomes hybrid. So please do not use Gates Glidden, use orifice opener. So something like this. So let us go to glide path. This is the glide path. This is the file. Sorry, you can click it whether it will work. Okay, this glide path you can see, you can bend it, later we'll be using it, it's okay. Significance, one of the major significance I'll tell you is, you can use your normal rotary files for many times. Because you create a shape already. You can use rotary files many times. And one of the major, very favorite question in all my lectures, workshops, doctor, how many times I can use this file set? How many canals it comes for? Because that is very important, right? So my answer is not that simple. You have 4 files now, right? Of course, in UK, US, when I gave lecture in Australia, I can't give this answer. I gave one lecture in Sydney, one lecture in Brisbane. The answer was you have to use only once. Simple, done. But of course, Asia, I cannot say that. I always say it's Asially, you can do this, not ideally. 1503 will come for less number of canals. So the major crux is 1503. So if you are intelligent, when you are buying files, don't buy assorted packs. You can initially buy assorted, any file, I'm not talking about only this. Then buy depending on what file, like glide path, usually requires more work to be done. So use for less number of canals. 2005 for example, will come for next. 2504 will be very less. Because all it is doing is cutting at the apex. So as an endodontist or budding endodontist or even those who are interested in endo, please understand, don't ask this question, how many canals? It is not for one, you cannot have one answer. You have many answers for that. And also, whenever I see a long narrow curve which is very difficult canal, I will never use a used file. In fact, my clinic, I don't use used file, I throw them because for me it's like lab bill. I consider files as lab bill. Lab bill is 650 rupees, this is a bit more than that, that's all. Because I'm safe in my head. I'm safe in my head, I don't want to take risk. And I have too much of reputation to survive anyway. And I can't show you cases, right? So please, maximum, for me, maximum 12 canals, max. Don't use more than that. And don't talk about, unwinded, go autoclave, check. I mean, theoretically it looks very nice, but practically, after all this, it may break. So, as I told you, your concentration should be not on learning all those expensive courses. I have met Teriochi 3 times. Good friend of mine, because I am also KOL for woodpecker, he is also KOL for woodpecker. I mean, I have learned a lot, many times. Every time I learn a new thing from him, but concentration should not be on how to retrieve the file. Retrieving is, out of 100 cases, maybe 5 cases retrieving. You can make it 2 cases if you know how to not to break. So unfortunately, all this social media hype, so many people talking, Instagram posts, so everywhere, all concentrating on showing their fantastic work on retrieving files. I had one dentist from Australia. He spoke to me, I was talking about it. He said, why are we talking this? Why are we making these guys heroes? Of course, Teriochi is amazing, there's no doubt. Or BTR Pen, that fellow Walid Kurdi is amazing. I'm not saying they're not good or bad. But why are we so fascinated with this fonda of removing the file? We should be fascinated with how to not break a file. Why not? So please think, social media is great, but it disconnects you. So this is how it works. It has got a 3 cutting edges. The advantage with this is it has got a fantastic lot of space in between flutes. So the debris won't go down. And all the flutes are arranged in such a way that everything moves up. Okay? So that, can you try to click it? No video. Fine. It has got something called as control memory. We all know that. We all understand what is control memory. So what happens is this. When you, can you click this? No video. So what we do is we sort of yeah. So what we do is when you, of course, don't do this, huh? So what happened was I was in Savita. I was giving lecture. Somebody, sir, please, sir.
It's a personal thing. I'm just working on some aspect.
Yes,
about file between, again, as you said about the craziness that is going on in the.
No, I will. As an academic institute, yes, you should do, definitely.
I'm something working on this only.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, at what temperature does the file straighten?
Yeah. So basically, this file, right? Especially this file, straightens only at autoclaving.
No, now you have put it on the flame.
Yeah, that is more than 100 degrees.
So
it's boiling temperature. So 121 degrees it straightens. When you autoclave, 121 degrees.
121 degrees. Huh?
That's it. So I'll show you one more very nice video if it plays.
I have, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please, sir. Please.
If I just now, if you replay it also,
yeah.
The tip has been placed on the flame,
yeah.
And the file has
comes back to original shape.
Or the whole has to be, it has to be transferred on the entire.
It will transfer automatically.
No, it has to be transferred on the entire flute or the working end or just on the part also.
No. It will. The minute you put even the tip, it will transfer to the entire flutes.
Okay.
So because the heat transmits very fast, metal, na?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if I can show you, there is one more video which is very nice to compare. Your question will be answered by that. It's okay. All are same. You can click here. This video. Problem is it's not on the side show, so we are having issues. Yeah. So what happens is when this particular blades rotate, the debris either can go down or come up based on how flutes are arranged. If flutes are arranged in this direction, the debris is collected and luted. So when we do a root canal treatment with these type of files, you take out the flutes, you will see a lot of debris moving towards coronal region. That shows the debris is trying to come up. It's not going down. So this is the reason why it happens is because we have got variable helical angle. That's the reason they do not have screw and it does not fracture. So this is the same thing. And usually, again I have told you, the tip should be inactive. Because we do not want two forces, one screwing force, one rotating force, then it will break. So this is what they are trying to show. It's run in Italy, the office. So same thing, 2504, similar cross section, variable helical angle. So this is anti-curvature, same. Can you please press this? It will come. So how we have to check the first one? Yeah.
One first one.
Yeah, please. So what you check? This is what exactly you have to check. Any file, let it be any company file. Take the file and bend. If the file is trying to come back, that is an austenitic file. If the file is not trying to come back, next video also, next. Yeah, even 2504 you can see. If the file is not trying to come back, that's a martensitic file. And check in the high diameter file, not the low diameter file. Because you have to understand, whenever the taper and the diameter increases, the rigidity increases. That is the reason your 2004 can go easily, but 2504 will have resistance to go. Okay? So as I told you, debris extrusion, this is one of the articles which were published, International Endodontic Journal. I was one of the author of this. What we checked was, we checked the debris extrusion. It was an in vivo study, not in vitro. So a lot of people do append-off tube, extrusion, take, measure, check, so on. This was done in Brazil, where patients who are going for orthodontic treatment extract their single rooted teeth, right? You do that, no? do a root canal, don't do obturation, finish your chemomechanical preparation, extract the tooth, take the periodontal ligament and check substance P calcitonin. It's a biomarker. The first author, Prof. Javier, he is the authority of biomarkers. He does fantastic work on biomarkers. He checks all how the human body reacts to stimulus. So this article shows they have checked HiFlex, we have checked Recipro Blue, we have checked K5, we have checked M2 and Plex V. It shows Plex V has got the least amount of expression of substance P calcitonin. The next best was HiFlex. Then M2, Recipro and all that. Okay? So this is the conclusion. You can read, this article is also open. You can always read. Search my name, you'll get it. I'll get some citations. So the next is, this is cyclic fatigue. You all understand cyclic fatigue? Can you please press this? This is very important to understand how it works. So this is torsional fatigue. This is torsional fatigue where you are rotating and torque is acting, instrument snaps off. That is torsional fatigue. Now press the next one. This is cyclic fatigue where you are using the file for many cycles and the cycle is having some resistance. In other words, you use a file for more than number of times you are supposed to use and you break, you broke the file. Or you used a file in a canal which is very difficult, the file broke. That's not your fault. You understand? So this is what exactly happens, sir. I think one of the questions can be answered here. Please do not go by the colors. Gold is not gold. It's expensive as gold but not gold. Why the color happens? When you increase the temperature to certain time and decrease the temperature, this is called control heating, that will release oxide layers where the color will be imparted. For example, you see there, if you heat at 490 degrees and cool at 120 degrees, you'll get a golden color. If you heat at 500 degrees and cool at 120 degrees, you get a blue color. If you heat at 700 degrees and cool at 120 degrees, you get a whatever color, cobalt color. If you hit control and the cooling is done at room temperature, you don't get any color. That is Orodeka file. So this is one of the technique what they have developed in metallurgy.
So what about the rainbow files?
I don't know what they do. Maybe they color. So this is a very nice one, sir. Can you please click? This is a click, please. Trying to click. You try to do slideshow. Will it work? You try. No, don't take risk. Okay, this is RC1. Next, Raven Gold. See, it is not trying. It's then Recipro Blue. I'm trying to show the metallurgy changes, and the question what sir asked also will be answered here. Next, Recipro Blue, then one Reci. This is one of the so-called heat treated file. I'll show you the. Okay, you can see the difference. Now you see next slide, please. Next. Yeah, please click. Maybe down. Yeah, down. Oh, yeah. So what we have done is, you have to believe me now. Can't show the video. They placed at 37.3 degrees. All the files after you bend, and this is the result. What you can see that one Reci almost becomes straight. What is 37.3 degrees? Body temperature. That's in the tooth, right? Blue almost became straight. One Reci, gold became straight, but you see the RC1 never became straight. Then they moved to the next level, 40 degrees centigrade. Again, RC1 did not move. One Reci, blue and gold became straight. Went to 42 degrees. Still, RC1 did not go back to original shape. So what is the importance of this? Why did we do this? I have done similar with Plex V. I have released it nicely. What is the importance of this? The importance is, when you check outside at room temperature, probably now 27, 28 degrees centigrade, it looks very good. Shape memory is good. But when you place it in a mouth and you rotate, the temperature is not same. It is 37.3 degrees centigrade. And that is the reason it tries to straighten up. And two things happening. One, temperature is more, and when you are rotating, there is a heat which is generated. which can go up to 42 degrees centigrade. Again, research shows it can go up to 42 degrees centigrade. But this particular file with this metallurgy will not go to original shape even though you are subjecting it to a 42 degrees centigrade. Only when you go in autoclave it goes back to original shape. What is the significance? You are not using a file which becomes rigid at a higher temperature. The chances of breaking is lower. Okay? So again, one more article published, you can have a look at. It's a fantastic article in European Endodontic Journal. Again, compared all this, they found out huge difference between cyclic fatigue and torsional fatigue comparing other major brands to this metallurgy. So again, disinfection, I always use this: sodium hypochlorite, saline, EDTA, saline, rinse, and saline and diobturate. For me, sodium hypochlorite is like free flow. I make the canals drunk. Sorry if you don't have alcohol, but yeah. I make the canals drunk with hypochlorite. Canals should feel, what is this guy subjecting me to? The reason why I am telling this is, a lot of people think that hypochlorite is a miracle solution. They put one drop and think, oh, it will kill everything. No, it will never happen there. One of the major things which determines how good your hypochlorite is working or not is volume. Nothing else. Any concentration above 2.5%, good enough. But your volume, I mean, there is no research done on this. My suggestion would be 20 ml per canal. If you are doing a molar, use 60 ml of hypochlorite if it's 3 canals, 80 ml of hypochlorite if you are using for 4 canals. Now go back and check how much of syringe you are using. If you are using a 5 ml syringes, 12 syringes you have to finish. Okay? So then only you are doing a good job. This is how it works. When you click, this will work actually. Yeah. So when hypochlorite goes in, there is saponification happening, neutralization happening, chloramination happening. These three will happen. It goes and bombards the bacteria and kills. Because it's a fantastic organic dissolvent, it can kill bacteria, it can dissolve the pulp. So it goes, it creates a good, very good this thing. Chloramination reaction will happen and hypochlorite will win. This is done by me, copyright of this video. Seriously done by me, nowhere it's available. So the other thing you have to remember is vapor lock effect. What is vapor lock effect? Next. Auto recovery is coming in between. Oh, you can close. You want to copy and see? Will it work better? But I am not accepting with everything everybody says. Too much of sealer outside the canal? No. Anything out the canal? No. We don't want. There is a reason there is an apical constriction. Human anatomy is like that. So we try not to push anything outside the apex. Of course, if it goes, it goes. But we are not trying to push and show the world that, I got apical puff. Nothing great about it. So what you have to do, you have to place the sealer at the orifice level only, not in the middle 1/3 or apical 1/3. Place at the orifice opener, take your gataparcha, go to the length and do something called as hydraulic condensation. What is hydraulic condensation? Bioceramic sealer loves water. Bioceramic sealer is supposed to enter the dentinal tubules and stay there. So when you are doing this, you take a gataparcha and place and do this, it is pumped into the dentinal tubules. And the water pulls it because it loves water. So this process is called as hydraulic condensation. Okay? So you are supposed to do that, not just coat it with it and push it in. Again, you should look evidence. Please look at evidence. Because everybody claims. I was in Thailand. Entire UPenn came, University of Pennsylvania. They were the first university to remove resin based from their university in America. No resin based in University of Pennsylvania. They use only bioceramic sealer. So entire group was there. Kohli was there. Setzer was there. Kim was there. I was in the symposium. We were discussing. So the question was, what is a true bioceramic sealer? Everybody says they are bioceramic sealer. What is a true bioceramic sealer? Minimum of 50% should be silicate based. It should be either disilicate or trisilicate, minimum 50%. So if somebody comes and claims their sealer as a bioceramic sealer, please ask and find out whether the resid content is less than 50%. Then only it's a good bioceramic sealer, right? So again in India I heard that people like high viscosity because they are worried about. Again, the viscosity for bioceramic sealer should be low. The reason is we want bioceramic sealer to flow. So please understand the evidence behind why it's not always, and there are people who don't want to waste anything in the syringe. So again, very strange. But so these things, sometimes science won't work that way. So I want to show this case. You see there? This was a young patient, 17-year-old.
I have a question,
Yes, please.
sir. Always sorry.
Yeah, please, no sir, anytime. Yeah.
Don't mind.
Yeah, no.
I've been following a lot of those posts on Facebook and on using bioceramic sealer app. The names you already taken, so I don't want to repeat that.
Yeah.
But they inject the bioceramic sealer, and they show that the bioceramic sealer is coming from the second canal, suppose it's a major buccal and major lingual.
Yeah.
It's coming out of the second canal and then they are oxygenating it with the gutta percha. But suppose if there were two distinct foramina, won't the bioceramic sealer extrude out?
So that's the reason the placement of the tip is very important, sir. You are not supposed to place at the middle one third.
No, sir. I would like, when they inject it in, sir, I can put it in the mesolingual canal, or from the mesobuccal canal, the bioceramic sealer is coming out.
Correct.
Okay, sir. Now, this is possibly true, this is possibly true if there is only one foramina.
Yeah.
And they have not violated the constriction.
Correct.
And if there is a two foraminas present, wouldn't it be quite evident that...
Yeah, I got your question. But the thing is, before whatever they are showing, right, they should have taken one master cone X-ray and confirmed there is a confluent canal.
Yes, confluent.
If there is a confluent canal, there is no issue.
Yes.
If there is not confluent canal, yes, I understand it should not be done that way.
Yes.
Yeah. So what they try to show is confluent canal. Actually, the whole point of showing that is to show the flowability of the bioceramic. That's all. Yeah.
No, but this will be misleading to the
Yes.
younger generations who are trying to think that
Yeah.
it can be used as a flow in all cases.
Yeah, so basically we are using it at the coronal one third. It should flow to middle one third, then use gutta percha to push it. That's it. That should be the right way. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, do not use it as a like an injection to go inside the canal like that.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir, please.
When we do irrigation,
Yeah.
with all those ultrasonic and all adequate, then also we are not so 100% sure about clearing wets and filth, right?
Correct.
So how you are so sure when you are using a bioceramic that it will be covering all those areas just by hydraulic pressure?
We are not sure.
Because that can only be assessed by volumetric analysis.
Yes.
That is not feasible. So if the case arises, then what will be the best treatment option? Because there will be always wets and filth, there will be something which will lie. That's why we call it. So we are so sure what will be the exact method rather than pushing, or we will need some more activation or something placement technique in those cases.
So basically, the old idiom by Cohen or Engel remains. What we remove from the canal is more important than what we put in the canal. This is again age-old answer for this. So now the question is, if anatomy as such, like for example you take a CBCT and you found that anatomy is the reason for failure, then you'll have to go for other methods like episectomy. If you're 100% sure, because you cannot do anything about going into things and lateral canals with whatever instruments we have. Probably, I was in 2013, there was one file which was introduced, it was called self-adjusting file. SAF. That file had some potential where, because of the adapting of that particular files into the oval canals and fins, and it had somewhere very close to what we could have imagined, but even that is not possible because what we are talking about is very, very, very micron level. So if that is the reason for failure, you have to go for episectomy or apical surgery, depending on the tooth. Again, if this second molar you can't open, it's question. You have to give up. We are humans. So I hope I answered your question, sir. Yeah. So yeah, we are not sure if you don't clean, bioceramic won't go, and that is also wrong. So lot of sealer companies nowadays, again, yeah, very good point. They try to say, okay, even if you don't clean well, use our sealer. Very good. No. For example, this case, you see now, this is a huge lesion, 17-year-old Chinese boy. This guy was trying to get into dentistry. He had severe pain. There is one video in my Instagram where there's a pulsating abscess. I couldn't find it, sorry, but you can check. Where pulsating abscess, pus was draining when I start this case. 8 months, 12 months. Again now, I am not attributing it to any sealer. No. It is not the sealer what it could have done. What I did, I gave calcium hydroxide in between. I did a lot of activation. I did a lot of sodium hypochlorite. I took 3 visits for it. It's not single visit. But you see here, so when I showed this case to a group of people, 90% of them told go for episectomy. 90%. Do we need episectomy? All you have to do is good cleaning and shaping, good obturation, good post-endo restoration. So we didn't even give crown because we were looking at the prognosis. So this is very important. Every next level of you demands a different view. Please don't expect miracles to happen without you changing yourself. That's very important. This is how so this is the answer for you. A bad cleaning and shaping and good obturation. If you go and take a radiograph on this, it looks fantastic. But actual thing is that you can see the debris, and let me tell you, the minute you put obturation and it is failing, that is a heaven for bacteria. Now they have amazing anaerobic condition with guttapercha, with debris. Love it. That is the reason your E. fecalis becomes so strong. Imagine, nothing to disturb them. So please, that's the reason I would recommend this particular thing. As I told you, total and hydraulic condensation. It should be basically the concept change from minimizing sealer to maximizing sealer. And guttapercha is just a carrier. Okay? So this is how you have to do MB2. Can anybody guess what is that thing which is coming up like that?
Sir, with hydraulic condensation, do you advise lateral compression?
Yes. If possible, if required, if you think that you are not condensed enough, go for extra guttapercha. So this is a lower premolar. Can anybody guess what is that thing which came up? That's a sealer, bioceramic sealer. It flew, but luckily it flew into sinus. All I had to do was take a probe and remove it. That's how it works. So this is again second premolar with 2 canals. Please have a good magnification. So yesterday somebody was asking me if there is a vertical split at the apex, what you do? It was really vertically too deep into the apical 1/3, like maybe 1 mm, 2 mm from the apical split, nothing much can be done. But if it is like 4 to 5 mm or 3 to 4 mm, what normally I do is I place, for example, you are cleaning 2 canals. We are not sure whether we are cleaning the same canal again and again. You place a file in one of the canals, smallest file possible, or you place a small guttapercha. Don't take a very big tapered guttapercha. Small guttapercha, cut it to a level where you can retrieve it. Again, don't push it too much, then you can't take it out. Place it, then you clean the other side. So don't keep the whole thing. If you keep the whole thing, again when you place the file, it will rotate and take off the guttapercha. So you understand? Or if you are very good with magnification, take a small Teflon, make it small and can place it there. All this can be done, but of course it requires skill and magnification, right? Then you clean it. Sometimes I do finish 1 canal, then only touch the next canal, to be sure that I filled 1 canal. Okay? So this was done in Iraq. This patient came, very minimally invasive root canal treatment. Opened, found a canal, guttapercha, small guttapercha. Only problem is there were 3 canals. This is the obturation. You can see flat oval canal. It's a flat oval canal. So difficult to clean, flat oval canals. Again, 3-rooted premolar. So this case, this was a dentist himself. He came to me. He had a pain, somebody started with root canal, then I took over the case. The problem was that, can you click that? There is something called as isthmus. Whenever you have upper premolar, the major reason for failure of upper premolar is isthmus. You have two distinct canals, but there is a space in between two canals which goes all the way to the apex. When we look at the research, the reason for failure of upper premolar is the isthmus which is not cleaned well enough. So this is what you have to do. You have to clean it well, irrigate well, ultrasonic activation well. Okay? So then you fill with obturation. You can do this, obturate well, and then you can see some lateral canal also coming up. So see the long curved canals. You can see the apical 1/3 of mesobuccal root. Can you dare using a 6% rigid file there? You won't even know how wide it broke. See now how well it is adapted. This is done by Orodeka Plex V. It's adapting so well. This is MB2 canal. I will show you one more case. Now this case was referred to me for the patient was, the doctor was not able to find mesial canals. Now why the doctor was not able to find mesial canals? Because the opening is not good enough. So what will you do? Already distal wall is gone. So you want to cut too much mesial again? Should not do that. So what you have to do? You have to pre-curve the file. Hand files you can pre-curve. What about rotary? What about the shape memory files? Can you pre-curve? If you pre-curve, it break. So you need to use. Sorry, can you please? You need to use shape memory files. You pre-bend it, right? Place the file inside the canal. Place the file inside the canal and start. So shape memory files, you can place them as much as they go into the canal and start. No problem. Don't have to worry. You don't have to start outside and go in. You can place it inside, go to wherever it goes and start. In fact, when you pre-curve, you cannot start outside and go because it will go very long axis. So you can see there. And there was a middle mesial canal. There was a mesial canal. So that is the reason dentist was having difficulty in finding canals, because the canals were very small and they're opening towards mesial. She has to go from distal to mesial. It was difficulty for finding. Then we obturated. That's a 5 canals. Yeah, this may be. Can you click this? And this was one of the difficult curve. Sir, your question. It comes now the confluent canals. So now you see there are two canals merging. You can actually, when you take a master cone X-ray, you know that they are not going to the length. In confluent canals, what happens is one gatapacha goes to the length, the other gatapacha stops. So that's a clear-cut indication you do not have two foraminas. You have only one foramina, but two becoming one. So this is what exactly we do. You see how I'm doing. I'm not going too deep. I'm placing at the orifice. I'm placing at the orifice and depositing the bioceramic. I am not pumping the bioceramic. Please do not pump the bioceramic. You can see there, it's moving laterally, not vertically. Now what I do, I take a gatapacha and place it in and do something called as hydraulic condensation. I was trying to do it. My skills are not that bad, but yeah. So you can place there. Then you do here, this is where you do a hydraulic condensation, but not too much. No, gently, right? And then you shear off wherever you want to shear off. Now the other canals, now these are the confluent canals. So this is what normally people show in social media, but of course you have to make sure that you have got only one foramen. Again and again I tell you that, yeah. So now you place it one. You can see I'm not going deep. I'm placing at the orifice, and when I introduce, it automatically moves because they're confluent. Like whatever happened in oval distal canal, it happens in the mesobuccal and mesolingual canal because they are communicating with each other. Now what you have to do is you have to place. Now one technique I'll give you. Continuation to what sir asked. Please do not shear off gatapacha one by one when you have a confluent canal. Place both the gatapacha, then shear off one by one. Why do we have to do that? Bioceramic is very, very, very sensitive to heat. The minute you touch bioceramic, it gets set. So now, if you shear off one by one, when you shear off one, the heat will be transmitted to the other part of the canal and the gattapacha won't go. Got my point? So put both, then shear off. Okay? So that is how it was done. So now this is what we are going to do today. Very, very nice. Can you click this? You can already see all the features of a C-shaped canal on the 7. Patient is having pain there. Opened access cavity. 4 portals of entries. 4 portals of entries. So the most important thing in any C-shaped canal, what you have to do, very, very important. One thing, disinfection. C-shaped canals, you cannot reach all the portions like this. You can see there is a debris over there on one side of it. Now, you place 2504. Never ever use 6% taper in C-shaped canal. Never ever. Because they may look big, but buccolingually they are very, very narrow. Very narrow, right? So you can see there, I've got 4 canals now, very clear, right? 4 different canals. Take a master cone. So my activation always happens before the final obturation. Do not do activation, take master cone. No. Why? Again, contamination might happen. Your activation and obturation should be at the same time. Irrigate, activate, dry, obturate. Your activation should be the last step before obturation. Okay? So now you see there. What am I doing? I am bombarding the hypochlorite to the walls. You think any microorganisms can survive there? If they survive, I can't do anything. I give up. You understand? What can I do more than this, right? Of course, you can do intracanal heating. It has been, nowadays, Alfredo Landolo is doing some good work on it and is publishing. Looks like it's working. See there. I didn't push it. Obviously, it will move because it's all conflict, right? So 1 canal, 4, but 1 foramen. So you can see there, I mean, being an endodontist, I'm a bit OCD guy. Always put gattapacha on the thing. Which is required or not required is a matter of debate. I am more confident like this because gattapacha is nice for me to later put my bonding agent, whatever I want to do. It's not going to mess with my bioceramics either. So that's the reason I put it. So this is obturation. So now, one more case. C-shaped canal with instrument separation. So I tried to remove this instrument. I couldn't. I failed because it's curved and C-shape very small and it is curved like that. So you can see that I am again cleaning and shaping. Now, martensitic alloys, files like Plex V, Orodeka can be used to bypass a file. Can be used to bypass a file. Again, from conventional wisdom, where we were not allowing people to use rotary instrument next to a broken file, we can use a martensitic control memory file to bypass a file. I will show you what exactly I did. Here I did that. You can see there. Now one of the file I used, of course I used one more file which I love the file but very expensive, that is called XP Shaper and Finisher. Here I don't know how, but that is one of the best files, especially in these type of situations. Because it's really, really, you see now I am bypassing and I am using my rotary file in next to the instrument. So you can see the instrument over there. Unfortunately, I could not pull it out because it's really, really curved and it was very, very this thing. Now you see, this is XP Shaper. What I am trying to do that? Why am I doing that? I am trying to remove any debris next to the instrument. I am trying to clean that area as much as I can. Of course, I didn't break the file. I forgot to tell that. I have stopped breaking files from, my last file I broke was in 2016 or 17. After that I am not breaking one. Very simple, my technique I told you, I'll throw, I think it is a lab fees. File is a lab fee for me. Mentally look better. So these are the master cones. Of course, the file, where the file is there, the 4 would not fit in. I put 2004, but my idea was not to go further. You can see that it was going, I adjusted. See now, this is what we have to do. Bombard it. Bombard the hypochlorite, make it drunk. See there. So nothing can survive, for sure. For sure, nothing can survive there. Then you just go and do a nice obturation. How you do obturation? Again, I relieve on bioceramic sealer and followed by, you can see there now, I'm placing in one canal, it goes to the next canal and next canal. You can see that. Why we have to do this in the C-shaped canal? The problem is we are not sure those isthmus area what to fill with. There is a study which compares thermoplastic gatapacha with cold hydraulic condensation technique. The result was both are not significant. Both will do a good job. Again, obturation done, place it in. This is what I do for every case. I do this and I place one layer of gatapacha on top of it. Just to make sure, everything is nice for me. See now what I'm doing. Thermoplastic, fast fill or woodpecker, whatever you have. So you can place it, then obturate it, nicely coat the whole thing, maintain the shape of the canal. So we do the same thing, so that's obturation. So you can see these are the curvature. Now you tell me whether you will be able to use a 6% taper here. Forget it's 8% taper, Pro Taper Universal, Pro Taper Gold. Try using it. That's why people will come behind you. See there. I cannot dare using a 6% also here. If I use a 6% here, 100% I'll break. This is a very nice lady, 60-year-old Indian female, very positive girl, lady. There is a crown, I had to remove the crown. She was came for 2-3 visits and I obturated. This I call it as walking molar. Why it looks like as if walking. This I call it as sleeping molar. Now, compare the walking molar to sleeping molar. Which is more difficult? This is walking, this is sleeping. Which is more difficult? Sleeping? Walking? How many sleeping? Don't believe me. How many sleeping? Okay. How many walking? Okay. So why walking? Because walking is difficult. You burn calories, right? No. Why walking? Or why sleeping? Or just have to pick one. Multiple choice questions. Walking is more difficult. Why? Because again you will have to go from distal to mesial. You see how the canals are opening. Whenever your file is bending opposite to the direction of you are placing it, there is a risk. Now sleeping, all you have to do is go from mesial to distal. And don't worry about the curvature of the canals. That is not your job. That is the file's job. You cannot control. Nobody can control. That is a speciality of a control memory file. That is how the canal will be adapted by the file. I always say the file should not have character. The file should get molded to wherever it is going. That is a good file. If it shows ego, bad file. Because it will break. Resorption cases, I normally use entire thing with MTA. The reason I fill that whole thing with MTA is already the canal is sort of weak. So I make sure that I use something called as ortho MTA. It's manufactured by a company in Korea, Bio MTA. I do lecture for them as well. It's a nice MTA where the working time is more. But you can use any MTA, doesn't matter. Only challenge I face if you're using the Pro MTA by Dentsply is the working time is very less. So you'll have to really manipulate fast and you have to load it and push it in. This has got a bit more working time. So this is one case which I want to show. Normally, where does calcification happens? Apically or coronally? Right? That's a conventional wisdom, right? This is one case. This was my academic assistant when I was she was my secretary when I was deputy dean. She had suddenly pain. Now, when we look at it, no caries. Only calcification of pulp chamber, but no caries and pain. We took a CBCT. What we found out was there was an external resorption at the apex. You can see that the blue dot over there on the left side, that's the external resorption. So we did the drawing of the canals. We found out in this software, Vatek, what you are looking at is a 50 micron resolution. That's the best resolution possible right now in the world. Less than that, no company has got it. Like Monita got 65 to 70. Like Dentsply Sirona got, K-Stream got around 80. This one is very, very good. Of course, a bit expensive, but it gives a very good perspective. You can see where the pink line ends, That's where the resorption ends. So what's happening is external resorption is causing calcification. It is creating a force for the calcification. So all I have to do is clean, shape. This is what exactly was happening. You can draw like this, then obturate. One more important, this is a very nice fact. This is done in 1995, but you can take a photo for this. This was a study which was done to show a very, very nice fact. You look at the first column, poor RCT. That means RCT was done bad, but a good restoration. The prognosis was 68%. Compared to adequate RCT versus bad restoration, the prognosis goes to 44%. Good RCT with good restoration, this is 1995, they told you that 90%, but now we can go up to 95%. So this particular study shows how important is it to do a good coronal restoration. If you have not done a good coronal restoration, whatever you have done will be a waste. So adequate restoration is very, very important. For example, this tooth came to me. Can you click please? Yeah, you can see this is a preoperative radiograph. Mesobuccal, this mesobuccal looks like okay, you know, but of course it is very short. So what I did, I cleaned. Now the challenge was to find the mesobuccal tooth. Never use your normal burrs for finding mesobuccal tooth. Never. You will end up cutting too much. You can use these type of burrs where Longshank SS White produces these very nice ones, where you can visualize where you are cutting. So I can visualize where I was cutting, I cut exactly, or you can use ultrasonics. Of course, ultrasonics is always a good option. Now you see I am trying to find exploring the MB2 because I know the failure happened because of MB2, missing MB2. So you can see that I am placing my file slowly. Now I found it. When the canal is very narrow, like MB2, probably you have to go with 8, not 10. Okay? So now once I get the catch, immediately I take my orifice opener. That is the best thing about Orodeka Plex V orifice opener, because remember, it has got active tip. So you can enlarge that thing. So you can see that now, cleaning and shaping done. That's enlarged MB1, MB2. You can see that, this is what the magic of magnification is. One of the best thing happened to me was microscope. Why? Because I can show what I'm doing to you all. No other way I can show, See there. Obturation, obturated MB1, MB2, very nicely. Below the orifice, no guttapercha on the walls, no guttapercha in the chamber. Very important, you can see that. That's after all the canals obturated. That's 4 canals. That's the posterior. MB1, MB2, mesobuccal, distobuccal and palatal. Okay, this was an interesting case. 20-year-old female patient. I did the root canal. So one more important thing, to grow, to become a good clinician, have no shame in admitting your mistakes. The day you have shame in admitting your mistakes, you can't grow. This case, I did it. I told patient, go back, because referral dentist, go back, get the crown done. Dentist, the patient did not go for 1 year, comes back to me, tells the root canal, so pain now, after 1 year. Took the radiographs, there is some lesion on the distal canal. I have 3 radiographs for you. Why do you think the canal failed? 1 year gap between obturation and post-endodontic restoration. Just now I showed you Washington study. Most common cause is that. So I was very angry. I was about to shout at the patient, but the patient paid very good amount for me, and I got good cut for there. So can't shout. I was almost thinking, can I charge again? But I didn't, luckily, and I didn't shout. I'll tell you why not shouting was so good. Missed root. I missed the root. Under magnification. Now, this is one of the flip side of magnification. The minute you have a magnification, you always try to make access cavities small. Not to show off. Ninja access. I'm absolutely against ninja access, please. So what happens, this canal, if you look at the position of this canal, where is it? It is so lingual, sitting somewhere here. Cannot find. Only when I found what I did something called as selective retreatment. What is selective retreatment? Because I did the other 3 canals, and when I took out CBCT, can you try to click it? If it works. Yeah. When I took the CBCT, what I found was very interesting. The lesion is isolated to the root I missed. So 2 advantages. I did the root canal. I know how I would have done it. I mean, I believe in my clinical skills. So I just went and I did just that particular canal. After that, the patient, of course, do not have pain. You can see how lingual is the canal, right? So just did cleaning, shaping, obturation. Now you can suddenly see the extra canal over there. This is the pre-treatment. This is post-treatment. Advantage was, luckily, if the other canal was infected, I'll have to do others also. Oh, this was one of the case, which was very, very difficult case. You can see. Now look at the 7. 7, also the patient did not want to extract. Chinese 57-year-old female. So 6, I told, very, very poor prognosis. You can see big lesion. Can you see any canal anywhere there? Big lesion, very poor restoration ability. So I gave, trust me, I gave 20% chance for this case, charged 2,000 ringgits for retreatment. That's 34,000 rupees. I was trying to push it off. Patient said, no, let me try. I said, why you want to spend so much time, energy and money? I said, no, let me try. So I did it. Of course, I do something called as, again, this I call it as static navigation, not dynamic navigation, where I draw the canals, I plan before what's going to come as an outcome. So I did it. Can you click? It will work. So remove the gataparcha. Removal of gataparcha is one of the topics which is still challenging because martensitic alloys are not so good to remove gataparcha, but let's see, you can try. Because of its aggressive cutting and ability to pull it coronally, it's a very good tool for removing the gataparcha, especially orifice openers. Because it's got active tip, it goes inside, pulls the gataparcha out. It gives you a good purchasing point. So I removed it, cleaned it, irrigated it, took a master cone. Here I did something different. Can you please? So what I'm trying to show you, integration helps you to do a lot of things. What I did different, you see there. I placed my bioceramic sealer, right, in the canal which has got, I couldn't go. Remember I drew the canal, the pink one, it was not going. I placed my bioceramic sealer, then I used my sonic agitator. Why I did this? I'm sure the sealer is not going to go beyond apex. I'm sure. Why? Because the canal is calcified. All I'm trying to do is, I cannot go with gataparcha. At least if I can go with the sealer, I can go. But how, as sir asked, how sure I am, I removed everything, I'm not sure. Only sure that, okay, some sort of cleaning happened, the gataparcha, the bioceramic went in. So this is what I did, and this is obturation, this is what happened. So this is the post-operative, post-treatment, 6-month follow-up. You can see there. So this is what is happening. What I observed in my practice over the last 15-20 years is, whenever I'm using bioceramic sealer compared to conventional resin-based sealer, my healing time decreases. The healing hastens. That is what I observe. So I can't say conclusively you throw resin-based, but I can say maybe clinically bioceramic is a better choice. Okay, this one we'll skip. Okay, this was nice case. Can you click it? Should work hopefully. Yeah. Okay, I found a new obturating material. It's called cotton. So this patient was done in Vietnam. They did a very big ceramic with amazing root canals everywhere. I finished all 4 root canals. You see, this is obturating material. So when I was in undergrad, I was doing my root canals. So I was called as perforation king. My name is Kranthi Raja, so Raja, and I was very good at making perforation, not repairing perforations. So my first case in my undergrad, this is for those people, as sir said, we learn a lot from everywhere. those people who get demotivated because they are not able to do good endo. My first case in undergraduation was a perforation of lower anterior. I still remember I was pumping the hypochlorite, it's coming from here. No Ramadan that time. Now it's a sin not to do with Ramadan anyway. So I was thinking, why this? Then I called my friend. Not enough dare to call Premanand Kamath. If he comes and he'll kill me. So called my friend, showed what? He looked at me and laughed at it. I said, why are you laughing? What happened? I said, see, very nice irrigation, everything coming like that. He said, no boss, you have created a nice canal there. So that was my first case in undergrad. My first case in postgrad. Then I thought, okay, I've become good. I've done some molars and all, First case in postgrad, perforation, upper premolar. So everything on the earth was pushing me to do a bad endo. So this is my lesson to a lot of people who get demotivated if you are not doing a good job. Every one of us has got an amazing ability to do an amazing job. I take orientation classes for my first year students when they come to MAHSA University. I ask one question. Who among you would want to become best dentist in the world? Best dentist in the world. I'm asking the same question to you. Who among you would want to become the best endodontist in the world? All of you raise your hands, please. All of you. First thing, remove the self-doubt. Remove the self-doubt. No way you should doubt yourself. It may not be, we are not comparing with somebody, we are comparing with ourselves. We want to become the best. Yes, why not? What big deal? I have given lectures in 15 countries. I have seen skills of so many people. I have retreated cases from US, UK, Japan, Germany, everywhere. Retreated. Terrible cases. In Kuala Lumpur, it was a very good metropolitan city where a lot of people from all over the world come. So I became famous for expats because I'm an expat. So I became famous for these type of cases. I've treated so shitty cases in Japan and UK, I'm telling you, you won't believe. So please do not think we cannot. We can. We can. So, of course, there's a perforation. Then I repaired the whole thing. I filled with MTA at the orifice. You can see why I did that, because there's a big cyst, and I repaired perforation also with MTA. Okay, this was a case which came to me. This patient, how is the root canal of 6? Well done? Bad done? Now, this patient came to me, Indian 65-year-old male patient. He came to me. He had pain again. So the story was so sad. Huh? Somebody did root canal for 6. Okay? Went back to the dentist. The dentist told, okay, everything is fantastic with 6, no problem at all. Probably 7 is the issue. Went and opened the 7. So 99.9% I think that 7 had no issue. He came like this to me. Now, I always tell to people, doing a mistake is okay, but doing this is a sin. If you do not know how your treatment is, then don't do treatment. If you take a PA and find your 6 being okay, and you have a guts to say 7 is the problem, there's absolutely grossly something wrong with you. So when I started, first I did the 7, I cleaned, obturated the 7, then did the 6. Let me show you how the 6 was when I started. Can you please click? This is how the 6 was when I started. Everything wrong with root canal treatment is here. Everything. This was done 2 to 3 months ago. See how the bleeding, how the Gattapacha was there. All I had to do was take a probe and remove everything. And see the fluid. What does it mean? Huge perforation down there. And everything was oozing out. So, I mean, how can you be so sure that you have done a good job, Then I cleaned, I shaped, I repaired the perforation. So this is post-operative, review 3 years. Patient is happy. But 7, yes, unnecessary root canal now. Very bad. So this case, this was a medical doctor. It was done in Indonesia when he was a student. Now, if this case comes, what will you do? This guy was coming from 4 hours from Kuala Lumpur. It's a place called Ipoh. He was traveling in the train to get this treatment. He went to a few dentists. All of them told not possible, and used to give some antibiotic and pain subsides. Go on, and again, like 4 to 5 dentists. So one dentist in Ipoh recommended my name. Came to me. Then I told, I saw this case. I said, sorry boss, this is really, really bad. Why is really bad? Why really bad? There is a huge furcation involvement and a big perforation, right? You all can identify it. And a huge periapical lesion on the distal canal, visual canal. I told, sorry, I can't do it. Then he said one word, it changed my entire perspective. One word. He said, doctor, you are the best endodontist of the world. He didn't say that. He said, I heard you can do good job. I said, oh, still. Then I opened it. Okay, can you click please? Click, click. So I found all the restorative materials in one tooth. Composite, GAC, amalgam. All there. In one tooth, used for repair of perforation. Only thing they didn't use is MTA, unfortunately. So I removed it. You can see that. I cleaned it. You can see that's a amalgam which is removing. So when I did it, I was trying to evaluate what can be done. Huge perforation. So the dentist knew a very good understanding of anatomy. He or she knows there are 3 canals minimum. So tried to find 3 canals, couldn't find the 3rd canal, made a canal. Objective was very clear. 3 canals, clean shape, obturate. But only the 3rd canal, she or he couldn't obturate. That's why they put all restorative materials. Bonus. So here what I did was, I sort of repaired the perforation first. Yesterday this was a question, we had a chat with Mansarovar PGs. This was a question they asked me. When do you decide? Whenever the bleeding is leaking and going into the canals, it is creating problem for me to clean and shape. I repair the perforation first. Whenever the leakage is not that bad, where I could stop the leakage, bleeding is bad, not that bad, I wait for it to be done last. Okay? In the previous case, I obturated, then put the MTA. Here, I put MTA and then obturated. Both ways it's okay, both ways it's forgiving. But make sure that you do a good job, both ways. So this is how I removed the gadaparcha, cleaned it, obturated it. That's MTA with obturation. This is a nutshell. There's a crown given, pre-operative, post-operative. Now, lot of people might be thinking, everybody looking at all, not all the good things. One bad thing, everybody go on there. What about that bone? All bakwas, this guy thinks it's so great, but the bone, nothing. The bone is not gonna come. No material is that great where the bone will come and form whole thing. No. Bone is not gonna come. We understand that. The bone will be like that. This tooth is there in the mouth for last 5 years. No pain, no problem. I extended the prognosis to 5 years, probably. So this is open effect, we have seen that. I'll try to wrap it up. I know we have some more cases only. So this is a separated instrument. These type of separated instruments are not so difficult when we want to remove. All you have to do is, can you please click? All you have to use is ultrasonics. If you use ultrasonics, you do the thing and it will come out. So there is gadaparcha, I removed it and used ultrasonic and the instrument pulled off. Not a big deal. You can do, anybody can do it. Like that, simple. Okay? So that's the instrument. Expose the instrument first and just use the thin, because it's a small canal, small file, all you have to do is use a small thin ultrasonic tip, just move it around, it will pump out. Yeah, you can see that is what happening here. Yeah, we are finishing this. 5 to 7 minutes we are done. So that's all, remove the file and remove. These were the difficult case. Can you please? This was a difficult case, a small canal, broken, very long instrument. So this was initially when we bought the BTR pen. It's very excited to use it. So placed it in, hooked it. Now there was a fight between BTR pen and the file, and fight between my heart also. If it breaks, so expensive loop. So we had a real fight. I couldn't even use ultrasound to go down because very narrow canal, mesobuccal one, not able to reach it properly. Angulation. So this is what I tried. You can see there. Pulling it with mild force. So two things can happen. One, either loop will go off or the file will come out. So luckily the second happened. That's the instrument for us. Yeah. So yesterday somebody was asking me, doctor, how do you decide when to bypass, when to retrieve? So my answer for it is, if you can bypass, no need to retrieve. As simple as that. If you can bypass, you are sure that you have cleaned that area well and you have reached with the gataparcha to the length, no need to retrieve. Because retrieval, definitely you will cut too much of tooth structure. Definitely, right? So, but some cases we have something in between. Now, I was not able to bypass nor retrieve. So what I did is again use my CBCT, very nice feature again. When I use CBCT, what happens? You'll see now. So that's we identified where the canal, the file was. Then again I went to something called as canal drawing. Remember I showed you canal drawing? Now I drew the canals. When I drew the canals, what happened? Both the canals are confluent at the apex. How confident I am? 100% confident I am. Because I have a CBCT. Right? So now I bypass from the next canal. I placed my cleaning and shaping. I placed my gataparcha. I obturated it. So sort of we entombed the file in between gataparcha up and down. How is the prognosis of this? Are you sure it will be for lifelong? I don't know. Once instrument broken, as I told you, the prognosis comes down. But again, I didn't break the instrument. Yeah. So you can see there. High chance, young patient, he was 21, so high chance we don't have to worry. So I just would like to conclude saying a new idea is first condemned as ridiculous and then dismissed as trivial until finally it becomes what everybody knows. One thing I can relate in India is, no, I'm not done, sorry. I know you're all hungry, sorry, but yeah, 5 minutes. In India, what I observed is, a lot of people want to cut cost. It's okay to cut cost, but please do not do at an expense of patients, whatever you want to do for it. Okay, this is very important. You should not. Yeah. As I told you, the most important thing is look at magnification. Your loops will help you to see. Then, Orodeka people are here. Buy Orodeka files. So always you have to have awareness. You have to be aware of what's going to come. Learning curve might be difficult, but there is a reason why we are called endodontists, right? Those who are becoming endodontists. You are endodontists. You are the ultimate. You are the guys who are going to lead the entire profession about root canals. You are studying 3 more years to understand what is a root canal. You are supposed to guide all the general dentists over there. We don't want general dentists telling us what to do, dictate us what to do. It's good if they do a good job. We make them, no, we should not have any, other day I was in one of the lectures, somebody was telling, hey, how can you tell this to a general dentist, general endodontist? No, cannot. They cannot become as good as us. What will happen to our profession? No. We need not be selfish. If we are good, we are giving extra 3 years, we will become better than anybody, I'm telling you surely. That is what exactly, I mean, again, maybe overstretched remark from me, probably that is what happened to orthodontics. They were trying to be too much in their own this thing. Aligner came. Everybody is using aligner. Everybody. Anybody can stop? Nobody can stop. So, share knowledge, but become the best, right? So the learning curve, as I told you, and don't let schooling interfere with education. With that, I would like to thank you all. Thank you so much. So one more important thing, I think the scan is not working. please follow me on Instagram. Though I hated so many people for Instagram, I love Instagram. Please do not use loops without light. Again, no cost cutting there. Without light, it is not an effective tool. Field of view becomes smaller. Field of view becomes smaller, requirement of light is more. That is the reason when we go into microscope, when we go to higher magnification, we increase the brightness. So minimum use 3.5 magnification. Too high loops, 6, 7, I am not a big fan. The reason is it strains the eyes.
How important is it to use a good quality optics?
So I was mentioning good quality optics, very, very important. The root. Why are you minusing 10 mm? No, fantastic. So you are, if it is 21 or let us take it easy for us, 22. So with mathematics of course. When I am taking it out, I am taking almost out so that it is not engaging with any wall. That's the idea. I am taking it almost out, it is not engaging to the wall. Understood? Long question, तुम लोग करोगे? Everybody nodding. So then you have to use 20, 0, 4. Fantastic. Fatal box. Okay? Again. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Can one of you lend your endodontic up there? One, 2, 3. Stop. Irrigate. Recapitulate. 1, 2, 3 again. Not wet. The canal should always be wet. You should never keep a canal dry. You should never introduce a file into a dry canal. That's the first mantra, not wet. So what do you do? The minute you have open access cavity, first thing what you do, you remove all the cavities. Then what you do? Take your hypo, flush the whole area with hypochlorite. So that, for all this what you have to do? You have to place something called as no dam, no endo. No dam, no endo. Okay, I'm hoping that all of you do that. Yeah? Right. So the first thing, of course, rubber dam, then you place it, then you flush the whole thing with hypochlorite. You take the file, and if there is debris over there, you take the file and you push the debris into the canal. So you are basically introducing a good canal. For example, you are doing a vital canal, and you are taking the file, and you are placing it inside the canal, and you are pushing the bacteria into the canal. So we don't want to do that. Okay? Okay? So what is let it go? Fantastic. You should never, ever, ever push any file. The file should be just nudged. Understood? Right? The second mantra is let it go. Third mantra, push, pull. Push, pull. What is push, pull? Push and pull. You feel like pushing. Whenever you feel like pushing the file, pull it back. What will happen if you push the file? When do you feel like pushing a file? When the file is not going in. Now why the file is not going in? Fantastic. So there is So whenever you're feeling like pushing, either debris is there or you're not going in the right direction. Or you've created a ledge. Or there is a calcification, whatever reason. Only these type of situations you try to push it to get inside. So when you push to get inside, what will happen? The fourth mantra is we Recap. Recap. What is recap? Oh wow. What is recapitulation? Oh, okay. So what do you do? How do you do in rotary instrumentation? Let's go back to that part. नहीं हाँ क्या करेंगे क्या स्मॉलर प्राइस क्या है हाउ डू यू टेल मी थियरेटिकली आई थिंक नो टेल मी प्रैक्टिकली so you take which number fantastic so every time you put a rotary file take it out indicate recap take a 10 member file go to the length why we have to do this we are making sure that you have not created anything wrong with your rotary file. There is a lot of difference in between tactile sensation with a rotary file to a hand file. Because with hand file what will happen? You have the sensation. For example, if the rotary file is buckling itself, a very small, narrow, tapered file, it might buckle itself but you will not be able to know it. But whereas if you put a hand file, if it is not going, you will know that there is a resistance to going. So that is the time you will realize that okay, so what are the 4 mantras again? Not wet. The canal should always should be wet. Only time it can be dry is when you are incubating, right? The second one is called let it go. You are not supposed to push any rotary file. You are supposed to nudge it, just facilitate it. It's like carpenter drill. When the carpenter drills a drill in the wall, does it push? It doesn't push. He'll rotate with the nail. Like, same thing will happen. The clockwise motion automatically pushes the file inside. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to take it clock. Then push pull. Whenever you push back, you feel like pushing, pull back. Then recap. Okay. So, what type of motion do you use for rotation? Especially the Martin Setic Alloy file. Pecking motion. Pecking motion. Any other motion you want? Brushing motion. All Martin Setic Alloy files. All files. Long brushing motion. No more pecking. All Martin Setic Alloy files. Long brushing motion. What is long brushing motion? This is pecking. Peck. Like a woodpecker. That's pecking. Why we started with woodpecking motion? Earlier, we were using austenitic files. We were not confident of the file to be in contact with the surface for more than 1 to 12. So what we were doing, we were pecking, going in. But this is Martin Setic alloy file. And this alloy file will work better at higher speed and higher surface engagement. So what you do, you place the file, you go almost to the length of the file, take it out almost out of the orifice, again go back. So what I do, 1, 2, 3, stop. Every time I introduce my file, I don't count loudly, patients will get scared. 1, 2, 3, stop. Wherever it goes, I stop. Irrigate, recapitulate, go back again. 1, 2, 3. Mostly 2 or 3 times it's possible. That is called long brushing. What is long brushing? 1, take it out. 2, go a bit further down, take it out. 3, go a bit more further down, take it out. Then irrigate, recap, next file. Any doubts in this? Okay, so we are clear on this. Your 10 number file, you check whether that's the canal. You go to the length also. All you have to do is whether you have to confirm, okay, I got all 3 canals or not. Okay, I got all my 3 canals. Now, you go to orifice opener. Fantastic. So why we have to take working length after orifice opener? Somebody was doing working length research yesterday. Who is that? Why we have to do? Why there will be change in working length? So what happens? Usually all the canals you have 2 curvatures. One at the orifice level like this, for example, the other at the middle 1/3 or wherever, depending on the curvature, not straight. But the first curvature starts at the orifice opener. So what you are doing, you are effectively removing the first curvature. So that usually what we have observed in research, and orifice opener working length is 0.9. minimum 0.5. That means if you take a working length without doing orifice opening, for example, it comes to 21.5 mm, the actual working length will become 21 mm after you do the orifice opening. So what you will do? You will do the orifice opening first, then you go with your thread file slowly to the length. What motion you will use? No push and pull, no filing motion. Remember we saw that we don't want to push any debris or pulp tissue beyond the apex. Okay? So that is the second thing. After that you have, later they'll all give you files. You've got 4 files in this particular thing. What we are giving you is difficult canal files. What are the difficult canal files? 1508, 1503, 2004, 2504. What does it mean? 2004 and 2504 means 4 indicates percentage of taper, 20 indicates diameter at the tip. So what we are doing, we are starting 1508, going to the working length, then we go to 1503, 10 number file, go to the length. One very important thing. File and push it. It won't happen. Remember, all the rotary file, the tip is inactive, non-cutting. So it is not meant to cut at the tip. So calcified canal, don't try to use the rotary file and negotiate. It won't happen that in my ticket. 1202, which company gives up? 12 file.
What? Orodeka.
Number 12. Money भी है.
Money भी है.
नहीं है, money नहीं है, Orodeka है हमारा. Orodeka नहीं.
Orodeka है. G
We
files.
also do have. Orodeka also got 12 number files.
12 number files.
So you can use 12 number file if you want to use. If you are not very confident, from 10 to 15 paper. Increase in the diameter. From 10 to how much percentage jump? 50% jump. You understand? So for example, if the canal is very curved at the apical 1/3 or an arrow at the apical 1/3 and you somehow managed to get your 10, from 10 to 15 it may take much time for you. So you are not confident, I want to jump from 10 to 15 with rotary, use 12 number file. They are called intermediary files. Where this 12 make it super close. Then your 15 will go close. Okay? So 1503, then you go to 2004. So if you look at it very carefully, what is happening? What is the logic here? 10 becomes 15, 2% becomes 3%. 15 becomes 20, 3% becomes 4%. So we are not exerting any pressure anywhere. All through the pressure exertion will be equal. But so from 2004 we go only 2504. Why we are doing that? We are not going to cut too much at the middle 1/3 and the corner 1/3 in a curved canal or a narrow canal. We are cutting only at the apical region, make it 25, that's it. So you do that, then if 25 also is used. That means you take a gatapacha, you place a gatapacha, you see the gatapacha is going beyond apex and so on. There are two options. If you have a GP cutter, there's something called a GP cutter. You all know what a GP cutter, right? You can make your own taper and diameter. GP gauge. GP gauge. It's called GP cutter also. Oh, you are thinking GP cutter is shearing of India. No, guys. GP gauge. Don't cut with GP cutter. GP gauge is like they will have this thing like thing where small holes will be there. You can place the gatapacha and you can cut whatever you want to cut. That is what I'm saying. Not GP cutter. Don't cut it. Don't say that I don't. So you go. What you do is 2504 if it is not. You go to 3004 and prepare. If you don't have 3004 in the clinic, you can do this. If you have 3004 in the clinic, you can always do something. So what I do, I don't go for 3004 at all. I go directly to 3504. The reason I do that is 25 to 30, the diameter jump is not so much. So usually 2504 is loose. 3004 also will be loose. You can go back and check my theory. So what I do, from 25 directly go to 30. Got it? So if it is 2506 or 4, whatever it is, I following you what I know. Not that. Okay? After that, what I do, you are not supposed to use lower speed per material because traditionally they have been using 300 or more than 5. You understand? So 500 RPM, 2.5 Newton for all the files except for glide path. Glide path 300 and 1. Okay? So in your motor you can do two settings, M1, M2. M1 can be 500, 2.5, whichever motor you have. M2 can be 300 and 1.5. So whenever you are using orifice opener, 2004, 2504, anything, 2006, Orodeka has got all tapers, all diameters. Somebody are conventionally using 2006. You like 2006 and then only 2506. Yes, available. But you have to buy a separate kit. Assorted won't come. Assorted will come either 2004, 2504 or 2506. Okay, just joking, don't take it hard. Nothing against any college. Just I spoke to you, I said, bend the needle. Where do you bend the needle? Okay, don't bend this, tell me. You bend it the middle one. Who is the final year PG from what else college? Sir? Baba. Baba. Where is Baba? Baba final year. Where do you bend the needle? Don't cheat. So middle one. Oh, in between, even further down. Where do you bend? Next, RKDS or whatever? RKDF. RKDF. Your RKDF. Final year. Where do you bend the needle? Middle one. PCDS. PCDS. Whoever tells the correct answer, whoever tells the correct answer, I'll give 10-minute extra class. No, let me ask all others, then we come to Mansarovar. We will not give home advantage. Your staff is here, so cannot. No home advantage. You are Mansarovar, I don't know. Huh? Where do you bend the needle? What 2 mm, 3 mm? How will you know? So every time you bend the needle, according to working. While irrigation, normally I don't bend. So every time you got a case, you bend the needle according to working length. That's what I'm asking. You are Mansarovar. Where is the Rishiraj? Rishiraj? You come?
Yes.
Rishiraj. Where do you bend the needle? Where do you bend the needle? Do you bend or not? You bend, right? You're looking as if bending, right? I've never bent a needle in my life. Apical one, okay. Who else, sir? All done? You can identify yourself, don't worry, I'll ask. Baba done, PECD is done, PDF done, PDA. You are what from where? PBS, what is that? People are your people. Where have you been? Any needle. I think Mansarovar told me right, so I'm giving it to you. So Mansarovar won. So you win the prize, sir. So unfortunately, I gave the lecture yesterday.
Thesis is on this only. Ansha and Simran, the one who answered.
Oh, cheating, man. So you bend 1 to 2 mm from the hub. 1 to 2 mm from the hub. Why? Why Simran? You Simran. Why? You should tell why also, no? You told so confidently you will bend there. Why? So basically, you are supposed to go how short of, we discussed that, right? You can't answer. How short of length you should go with the needle? Your Mansarovar. How much of mm you have to go with the needle? Correct? Right? So if you bend at a middle 1/3, can you go to 2 mm 1/3? If you begin between middle 1/3 and apical 1/3, you will go 2 mm into orifice, not into working. So you have to bend 1 to 2 mm from the knob. And the next question will come, sir, if it goes beyond length, how? You should ask me that question. Those who answer. What do you have to do? How to solve the problem? Put a stopper. So whenever, whatever working length it is, you bend at this region, put a stopper, adjust the stopper. What gauge you are supposed to use? Ideally 32, ideally. Only one company I know manufactures from Ultradent. Fantastic needles. I don't know, Haricam does that. They do everything. So, eminent. I'm not sure. So good. Whoever does that, use the thinnest tip, but be careful when you're using 32. You have to make sure that you are. ना वो छोड़ो वो ठीक है. अब उसके बाद कैसे इंगेज करना? How do you indicate? Don't tell me clearly. Clearly अच्छा है, सबको आता है. Hold it like a pen. Hold it like a pen with the palm. Again, there is a logic. Two things will happen. Advantage. You can move up and down. Why do you have to do up and down? Two things. Agitation is a secondary problem. Major problem is fantastic. You don't want wedging. Especially narrow canals में wedging हो गया, correct accident, right? So you place it and don't keep it at one place. Move it up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. ठीक है? So basically you are doing two things at a time. You are agitating as well as making sure it doesn't go beyond the apex. And I normally do this because I have a better grip like this, and also physics. The more the surface area, less is the force. Please don't do this. This is the highest pressure you can use. Some people do this also, not bad, but it is very, very difficult to do this and this. That is the challenge. Okay?